If this girl is following us on anything, I got a job to do this on the 15th. If you need she probably gets paid enough. I'm not worried about it. Never mind.
Okay.
$50 an hour ain't gonna give her nothing.
Put that on the table. That's reading material.
How's that?
Nice.
Test.
Yes, sir.
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh yeah, way better.
Oh, nice.
I can actually heal y'all.
Heal us quick.
I can heal y'all.
Heal. I need to heal.
I can't not sit on the couch and not want to put my arm around you.
That's okay. That's what I was doing with the kids. Kids hopped up here.
Got a fucking pocket cam.
Come under the wing.
Yeah, I never know what to do with my arm when I'm on the couch.
Oh, I didn't put the screen back down.
It's like a mouse looking at y'all.
That's why I'm always fidgeting. What do you mean? The screen back down?
Hold on.
I like this view. I almost got the fucking Dingman up shorts.
So this is what I had to do to get the mic closer.
Yeah.
I think it works out.
It's nice you have all the equipment you could ever need.
And all the people we could ever need too.
I feel like you soundproof your walls and just turn this into a recording studio.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
Dude, you got the mic.
Pretty simple.
Who do I record?
Yourself.
Dingman can beatbox. Oggero has dropped some of the nicest freestyles I've ever heard in my life.
Huh. That's actually like a little closet there. I could turn that into like a
studio for real.
VO booth.
Yeah.
Dude, what are we doing here? I can promise you can find yourself a country singer within 2 miles of your house.
There's a bunch of them actually.
Exactly.
There's one kid that was blowing up on TikTok, posting videos for the Strawberry Festival.
You got options.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You can find some locals, bring them on in, wine and dine them. Put out a couple singles.
I don't know, but maybe.
Don't let them wine and dine you. You're providing the studio.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Turn into a business. Find the next T-Pain.
I thought you were looking for a country singer.
Looking for both now.
Looking for a next Post Malone.
What do y'all think about auto-tune?
For some people it works well, and some people it doesn't. I mean, there are rappers I listen to that do have auto-tune, so I guess I like it.
I think auto-tune empowers good lyricists to sound better. Because I wouldn't want a lyricist to provide their work to somebody else just because they had a better voice. Because they wouldn't say the words with the same connotation as they were originally written.
You got to feel it.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about? You must not like auto-tune.
I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, I like T-Pain. I like his music. He uses a lot of auto-tune, right?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
How do you feel about synthesizers?
But like with AI now, you can kind of really see like how easy it is for people who don't have good voices at all. Just hit that button, turn on the auto-tune. It's like, whoa, this guy sounds pretty good. Kind of like how all those Disney movies, all the actors that are doing those movies sing really well.
The voiceover?
And it makes you wonder, do the actors really sing that good? Is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui, does he have a good voice if he really sings? Or are they doing a little auto-tuning to his voice?
I definitely think they tune it up, auto-tune, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
If that's the case, anybody could be a singer.
I think so.
That's true.
Well, I think everybody can be a singer with the right lyrics.
Right lyrics, a little bit of auto-tune, and I'm pretty sure they all have some sort of musical training. Like they all have vocal coach at least some point.
I agree with that also.
Real question is why didn't I get into
voiceover work?
Vocal coaching. Become a new America's Next Top Model.
What is happening over here?
I think you're thinking of The Bachelor.
America's
about a voice coach?
America's Got Singing.
Yeah, they got something.
America Sings. What's that show? American Idol.
There it is.
Become America's Next Top Idol.
We're all over the place. Are you talking about American Idol or are you talking about modeling? You tried to combine them?
No, Tyra Banks is America's Next Top Idol.
Next Top Model.
No, the singing show with Ryan Seacrest.
American Idol.
Isn't Tyra Banks a judge?
Maybe for a season, but no.
Simon Cowell, Tyra Banks.
You thinking Paula Abdul?
Who else?
Paula Abdul.
Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul, Mariah Carey, J-Lo. They all did it.
Like I'm in a fucking cooking show now.
My dog.
Yo, dog, Randy Jackson.
Oh,
Randy
yeah, I was
Jackson.
like,
come on, dog. That sounds pretty good.
It's a no for me, dog.
That's not a good impersonation. That was better.
No, that was the dog.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
I don't know what's happening
Perfect
anymore.
impersonation.
Dog the Bounty Hunter is pretty good, dog.
We're going to go in there and we're going to bring the family back. And
Okay,
it's not a great Dog the Bounty Hunter, but He could use some work. He's using vocal coaching.
Talked about what was the girl we were talking about a few weeks ago?
Gabby Petito.
Dog bounty hunter came in to find her.
Did he find her?
No,
He did come in to find her. He wanted to get.
He went to the wrong island. he was way out on the West Coast.
Well,
I was like, this guy doesn't got nothing.
You never know where they're at. You just got to start somewhere. You were bringing up Nintendo 64 games earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What Nintendo 64 game do you remember the most? Which one did you play the most?
There's a game I played a ton. Computer guy, I need your help on this. I don't remember the name, but I played it more than any game, and I just remember I don't remember the name because I never took it out of the console. But it was like a side scroller fighting game, and you could pick one of 3 robots, and one robot was like a giant ninja dude. They were like cyborg ninjas. And it was just one of the funnest games ever.
Sounds very familiar.
I used to play an arcade game like that at my uncle's house.
It could be it.
He used to have this arcade machine that me and my cousin always play. And you weren't a robot, but you were like, you could get in a robot and you would run around with that and you'd shoot this up, but it was a side scroller. That game was a great time.
Side scrollers need to make a comeback.
I don't think they need to make a comeback. I don't think they're
so?
good, but for some reason that game was great.
I think indie developers are still doing. There's a lot of indie developers making games similar to that.
But
side scroller style games.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's not. I'm thinking like the old, like the Simpsons arcade game. That was one of the best arcade games. With it, like you could be Bart and hit people with the skateboard.
Cuphead's a side scroller.
I kind of remember.
But that's more of like a Galaga like shoot 'em up thing. It's not like a walking around fighting thing.
Yeah, you're not walking.
Right. It's just you got to keep up. It's just pushing you.
Well, I guess some of them you are walking, but yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Right. No, it's true.
I don't know if you move or if the camera moves and you got to keep up on Cuphead.
I think you move.
In Cuphead, the camera moves.
Because that's 2 different types of side scrollers. You can move yourself. I think most of all the Super Mario games you move yourself, but I think there's a couple levels where the camera moves and you got to keep up.
Right. Yeah. Cuphead is the you move in the camera.
And anytime you're in an airplane, usually the camera moves and you can just kind of go around as the camera's moving.
Yeah.
But the camera's going past and you don't get a choice to stick around and stay behind. You gotta keep up with the camera, baby, with those Lakutus.
What?
So that game that you don't know the answer is one you pick.
Yeah, that was one I played the most.
Dingman.
And then I played in an NHL game.
There's 2 games. One, the greatest mechanics of all time, a.k.a. there's really just one mechanic that I liked in the game, which is GoldenEye, when you could shoot off the locks. And I used to love shooting the lock off of the gate going through.
Do the sound effect.
Oh, I don't remember the sound effect. Is yeah,
that's a ricochet.
That was the ricochet. Yeah. That game was so much fun. I used to replay. I think I used to play the same level over and over just to shoot off the lock because I knew the one had the fence with the lock on it.
Would you do local multiplayer?
Yeah. When you'd have friends come over, you play the one
4 screen.
Yeah. What was the name of the map? Fortress or something like that?
Fortress, I think.
I think Fortress is the name of the map, and you go try to find the golden gun, obviously.
Go get the golden gun in like the walk-through doorways. We used to do proximity mines only.
Oh, man.
Which was so much fun. Just running around throwing around proximity mines. I would scatter the map with proximity mines. Just throw in, like, we'd use the cheat codes, do unlimited ammo, proximity mines only. And then I would throw all the mines I could and then just get to like one corner of the map and blow them all up, expecting like the whole map to like explode, as if I'm playing like the Dragon Ball Z game where you can do the spirit bomb, right? And the map explodes.
I didn't play any of the Dragon Ball.
That's what I was expecting to happen in GoldenEye 10 years before Dragon Ball Z came out.
Dragon Ball Z.
It never came. Never blew up. But
that was great. And then the other game would be Turok, which I would just put the cheat codes in for all the games.
Turok was pretty sick.
I mean, for all the guns, and then just run around and blast people with all the different guns. And that was. I don't know if I ever actually beat that game, but I definitely played it a lot. Played the same little level, and you get the knife and you stab the dinosaurs, and you pick up like the little orbs. Great game. Except for Turok 2, not that fun, but original Turok.
I don't know if I ever played that one. I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I ever played it.
Pure
So
guy letting me down here. Sorry.
We had a Nintendo 64. Before that, we had like the NES, the Super NES. But I used to play so many games as a little kid. I can remember my neighbor had an N64, and they had games that I didn't have that I would want to play. And they had 2 girls that were my older brother's age, like so 5 years older than me, 8 years older than me, not my age, to like go over to their house and knock on the door and say, "Hey, can so and so come out to play?"
Right.
But I would go over to their house, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, can I come in to play?" And so, like, whether or not their kids were home or not, like, they would let me come inside to go play Nintendo 64 and they're like game room.
Pretty good neighbor.
Pretty good neighbor. So I would play Earthworm Jim was one of the ones I would play at their house.
Earthworm Jim?
I've heard so much about it. I've never played it.
Earthworm.
What's
Jim.
that?
It's like a side scroller type game.
Yeah.
A shooting game. You're an astronaut, but you're like a earthworm. So if you got like a human body with an earthworm head.
Right, you're like a buff astronaut, but just the helmet hole, just your little earthworm head pops out.
I gotta see what this looks like.
So you'd run around and you'd just be shooting people. And I don't really remember the premise of the game. I was too young to really understand what you had to do. I would just run around and shoot people. And it had like tongue-in-cheek humor. And it was funny.
Games used to be so much more funny. I feel like, and maybe it was dumb humor, and that would be more enjoyable. But like Banjo and Kazooie, so funny.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, hilarious.
I didn't really. I mean, I remember that game, Earthworm Jim. I remember seeing that guy.
Jack and Dexter. I think it was just the funny ones were the 2 name ones.
Those were all PlayStation games, though, right?
I thought that was a 64.
64.
Yeah.
I'm realizing
The Jack and Dexter and all that?
Jack and Dexter.
Jack and Daxter's PlayStation. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Isn't Ratchet and Clank PlayStation?
I really don't know.
Ratchet and
PlayStation.
Clank. Well, Jack and Daxter, I think, is on. Maybe it's not just PlayStation exclusive, but Ratchet and Clank is.
So I think my one friend had a PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and I remember him playing them a lot, and I would just watch him play it. I didn't really like to play those games, but they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like how I am with Minecraft. Like Minecraft, I'm only so like able to build stuff that I'd rather watch someone else build and create and do other things.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In college, we all downloaded Minecraft because it was like a cheap 4-player game, and we'd all sit there, get drunk.
Oh, it's fun if you play with people. It's a great time.
Not only did we download Minecraft,
We bought it on
every console.
every console. And
a 10-year span, multiple times. Like, there's probably only one other game I've given more money to, just buying it over and over. Well, 2 other games that I've bought over and over again are Skyrim and GTA 5. Just because they've been around, like both of those games
Dark Souls
have been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
So if I upgrade a console or if I get a different console or whatever, I just buy it again.
Literally, we would be hanging out in the living room drinking it. We wanted to play something, so we'd play Minecraft. And then I remember I had like an Xbox 360, and then I bought Xbox One. We bought it on that. We had a PlayStation or a Wii or it was a Nintendo Switch. We bought it on that.
I bought it on my own console, my own PlayStation.
We would play it one night, and it was always a great time for that one night. And then we never, like, it would take us months to get back.
Here's the thing. On any of those games, my thing was always like, as soon as we find like a perfect piece of land or whatever that I like, I'm envisioning the compound. I'm envisioning where the houses are going to go, where we're going to put the farm, where we're going to do this. These other guys don't have that mindset. Like they're always out doing all like the
mining
or whatever,
stuff,
random stuff. So Oggero will play the game for 3 hours and he'll come back with like, I've got a full diamond chainmail armor or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've got like a wooden pickaxe that I'm still working with, and I'm just setting up the camp.
Mapping things out. Well,
we did the same thing along these lines with V Rising was a game that we played a lot, which came out a few years ago. We only played it for maybe a few months, so Jared might have played longer, but I played with him and some of his friends. Did you play it all?
I didn't play V Rising.
Maybe Ogero's brother, but they would like go kill all the bosses, and I would just be setting up the compound, building the house, getting all the stuff that we need, putting the paintings on the wall. Be like, yeah, that looks good.
You gotta make
like,
it homely.
moving shit around and making it feel like this is a perfect mansion. We're gonna survive any raids that come our way. And then like they decided to switch worlds.
Yeah.
Like the next day, like we're gonna do a different world. Can I carry my whole compound over? No, you gotta start over. Like, all right, I'm not playing anymore.
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
done.
I agree.
It was funny. Like because when we had all four of us, Dylan was setting up the camp. I was normally off like trying to tame a wolf and bring him back.
Yeah.
And then we had Oggero collecting supplies, and then Mike Sharp was just burning stuff down. He's just burning down our houses.
The worst is when you turn your back and there's a creeper at your house.
Oh yeah.
Creeper!
Yeah, that's
Dylan's Bryce's painting gets blown off the wall.
that was so bad.
That's wild. That was a fun game.
I remember I used to play with my buddy, and we would just go mine, and then he wouldn't be saying anything, and then we wouldn't even be talking. We'd just be maybe talking a little bit, and then just nothing, and then he'd look in the bottom left corner and be like, Malik died from fire. I'd be like, what happened? He'd be like, I fell in the fucking lava, dude. I'm like, he's like, I had so many diamonds. I'm like, you're an idiot. He's like, yep. So those are a great time.
When I was little, to take it back to the N64, I used to bet a kid in my neighborhood. He lived a neighborhood over. His name was Byron. We used to have weekly bets of like Pokemon cards and Digimon cards and N64 games at the time. And I was fucking hooked as a kid, dude. So I would lose every week. Like lost all my Pokemon cards, then lost all my Digimon cards. Then one week he said, double or nothing, I'll give you all of my N64 games for something. I had something cool. I think like a Super Smash Bros. Or something that he didn't have. So final day, play him, fucking beat him in my front yard. The last point, fakes a heat stroke. Had to get my mom, get him popsicles, called his mom, had to drive him home. I'm watching him like a fucking with an eye in the back car. Like, is this guy for real? Never saw him again after that.
Can't go back to Mikey's house.
Heat stroke at 7 years old?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I've been chasing that high for the past 30 years, just fucking waiting.
Maybe you'll get a package in your mail one day.
Right.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
I totally forgot. It wasn't Nintendo 64. It was on Super Nintendo because I completely jumped. I jumped from my dad had a Super Nintendo that he let us play on, and then I didn't have another console until Xbox 360 came out. Right, sorry, original Xbox. Okay. Original Xbox came out. Not as bad, but and then so I missed the Super Nintendo. I missed the GameCube. Missed PlayStation 2. Missed all that action.
I loved the demo for Xbox, the Fusion Frenzy demo. Yeah, I used to play that so much.
No one, I don't know anybody that ever bought the game. They just played the demo.
Oh yeah, I never bought the game either.
No one ever bought the game.
The demo was enough.
Demo was great.
I didn't buy the game, but we played the game at Evans Park. So I used to go to Evans Park after school, all through elementary. Just like an after-school park you'd go to and before your parents could come get you if they couldn't pick you up from school. And one of the things I would play there, they had like Nintendo 64s inside. So whenever we got to go inside to go play video games, if it was like a rainy day or whatever, I would always play Ocarina of Time. But somehow, like I think they had a save file where it was set up where you were already at the fishing village, where you could go inside the little fishing area and go fishing for bass. So everything I learned about Ocarina of Time, I learned from Evans Park, playing, like talking to the other kids that played the game. So we didn't have like magazines that we'd look through because we didn't have the subscription. We didn't have the internet. We couldn't look stuff up. We didn't have Yahoo.com because it didn't exist at that point.
It's a shame.
And we'd just go to the other kids in the playground and talk about, like, how did you get that sinking lure? Like, I've been trying to get the sinking lure. What do you got to do? Well, you got to walk through the weeds around the outside of the pond and go in circles until you find it. And then you'll find the sinking lure, and then you can get the big bass that are down low. And if you get the big bass, you can get your bass in the tank, and you can get your name on the wall. But one of the rules is you're not allowed to use sinking lures. So if like the guy that owns the fishing place finds out you're using a sinking lure, he'll like take your name off the list. Say you didn't catch the big bass, you cheated.
Huh?
It's like that life lesson there of just learning from the people around you and connecting with your community to better yourself.
I feel like I'm trying to learn how, like, because there was a rare candy like glitch. You could dupe the rare candies in Pokemon on Game Boy. Yeah. I don't remember how I learned it. I remember someone told me or what happened, but you like
it's all word of mouth.
You like save and then you turn it off, turn it on, and you'd have your.
You gotta take like Pokemon, holding the rare candy.
Yeah.
Put them in the box.
Yeah.
Bring them back out and then save and quit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never did it, but
one of the things you could do if you had an egg in your pocket, you have to do however many steps you walk is whenever the egg finally hatches.
Right.
So you'd go to like this one waterfall or like this mudslide type area
mudslide
where you'd walk up it and it'd push you back down, and you just tape the button down.
Yeah.
So you're walking up it and it pushes it back down, and you just leave your Game Boy in the corner, leave it overnight, and your egg will hatch by the next day.
It was
Anybody ever do that?
egg and the Pokemon daycare, because your Pokemon daycare is based off your steps. So if you did
That
that,
too, yeah.
if
Oh.
you did that, the problem was
I used to always go back and be like, yo, why are they not?
Right, leveled
Why
up,
is-
yeah,
yeah,
it's-
what's
it's
And
all
your,
about
your
walking.
bike doesn't count, right? If you ride the bike, it doesn't count.
bike doesn't count.
That was the worst. 'cause
Well,
the bike was the
it
best
might,
to ride.
it might count, but it doesn't count the same amount of steps. It's like expedited kind of thing.
Mm.
But problem is like I would do that. I did that, taped it. I had left my Game Boy on the charger and everything, and I came back and my Pokemon was like level 98. And it was like $1 million to get it out. I was like, I can't afford that.
Can't afford to
I
get this
can't
out.
pay it. So I really realized I'd failed. I just can't get my level 99 Bellsprout.
Man.
What were you saying, Mike? You want to say something? Don't be shy. If you want to say anything, you just
Cut
holler
in
up.
here, dude.
I was just saying, I feel like the steppers, right? Because I remember hatching your egg and being like, yeah, hell yeah. And then immediately after Pokemon, I got into it wasn't Tamagotchis, but it was a similar step counter.
Neopets?
It might have been Neopets. And I just remember walking my ass off just to get one little pocket monster. And I remember thinking, damn, they're really tricking me now thinking back. I was so active probably walking just to get a single thing that I could have just downloaded or something.
I think I never even knew what that was. I literally had one, and I was like, this is not fun, whatever it is. I didn't know you had to walk with it. That makes so much more sense.
It was a step counter.
Yeah.
Tamagotchis had step counters, or is there something different?
I thought it was a step counter, but
It's something similar, yeah.
I swapped immediately after I had it for a week, and then I found these things called scanners. It was an old thing,
Oh, those are the best. Scan monsters?
and you scanned barcodes at the store, and it had a different monster every barcode.
Yeah.
So you would search through the stores on every barcode.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Bro,
I don't remember doing it, but I do remember that.
I was hooked.
I was gonna say you just hire that kid as like your store stalker. Just have him.
Right.
And then we gotta put all these on the shelves. Go ahead and scan them while you put them in.
There's this game.
Someone in China was getting some valuable data from me because I was scanning everything. Dude.
That's pretty funny. I
There's
never did it, but I heard about it.
this game that I played that my cousin had on Game Boy SP. I forget the name of the game. It's Monster something. I've got it in that drawer. I can go grab it right now, but I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. One of the mechanics in the game was you can go to this like cave where you create your own monster. And I forget how you do it, whether you like just type in random numbers and it makes a monster, or it's like a combination of keywords that you put together and it makes a monster. But the types of monsters that they can come up with, it's like Pokemon 2.0 on acid, or like the types of monsters that come out of that thing. But they all kind of make sense a little bit, like based off the keywords that you put together. It brings back like a floating eyeball with bat wings type monster.
Are you thinking of the Yu-Gi-Oh game?
No, it's not you.
Yeah, because I was thinking of that with the polymerization.
Yeah.
Where you just try to combine everything.
Where you combine everything, and then there's a separate thing where you could enter in, where you could scan real life cards.
Yeah, you
and
could-
enter the
you could put
numbers
the
from
actual
real life
code in.
cards, and then if you you had certain cards that if you combine the numbers on them, it'll make like if you take like a knight and a bat, you literally get bat knight.
Yeah. There
It could
was
be-
that.
It's not a Yu-Gi-Oh game. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna go grab it.
Yeah.
You
I remember,
have the
I
game
remember that.
still?
Yeah, it's in that
That's
drawer
awesome,
right
man.
there.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't have an
remember
SP
doing
to
that.
play it, but I've kept
That's
the game
fine.
because if
Just
I
in
ever come
case.
across an SP later on in the future,
No, that's very cool.
I want to have it.
I gotta get.
I can't fucking wait.
I gotta get better about holding on to things because I feel like I don't like clutter, and so whenever I'm done with something, I just get rid of it. Even I think my parents probably have a lot of my old toys and stuff, but I'm always so bad about like just moving on to the next. Just what was it
Let me
called?
see that.
Monster Rancher. Yeah, Monster Rancher's cool. I never played it, but it was cool.
Monster Rancher. You grow your monsters and like you feed them certain things that give them like attributes, kind of similar to
Gone Forever.
yeah, kind of similar to I feel like they added similar mechanics in one of the Pokemon games later on, where it was like a Pokemon like best in show feature in one of the games.
Contests.
Pokemon contest. Beauty contest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you could feed them certain things that would give them like higher aggression or like
berries.
Feed them different Pokeberries, and there was like a pie, and like they would get certain attributes in one direction.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You're following this?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Is there it'd be a circle in the middle, and then if you fed enough of two, then you'd have like a triangle in between those two, and it'd add more. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I never understood the mechanic, and so I'd go around just picking random Pokemon, and I was like, they gotta find like a Butterfree pretty, right? So I put him in, and I didn't realize there was like stats attached to it. So I was like, all right, the Butterfree's gonna go in the cute style, and I did it, and I came in last every time. Like, what am I doing wrong?
You weren't feeding them the berries.
I wasn't. I didn't realize. Well, that's the thing. Like, you going back to what you just said, I didn't have a group of people there, or at the time, you had the only way of learning was asking friends, and I wasn't comfortable talking to my friends about Pokemon at the time.
See, all I did was play. I mean, I would play outside a lot as a kid because we're growing up in the 90s. That's what we did. We'd ride our bikes around the neighborhood, play basketball, skateboard, and stuff. But when I wasn't doing that, I'd be playing video games. So
yeah, I mean, before I had a phone, like I was in the. I mean, I'd go use the bathroom, go take a poop. I'd be in there for an hour and a half playing Pokemon. Get the first badge, one poop.
Damn.
And then other times it was like traveling with my parents' stuff. I'd be in the back of the car, like. Getting a driver's license just destroyed my Pokemon because I was always in the driver's seat, couldn't be in the back seat, catching guys.
I was never a pooper that does things. Like I'm just there to poop and that's it. I don't want to.
You don't hang out, dude?
Nah, I don't hang out.
Unwind?
No,
that's my safe.
Maybe that's my issue. You know, maybe that's where I need to get my relaxation. I poop and I'm it. That's it. I want to be out of there as fast as possible.
It's a transaction. You can't do it like that, dude. You gotta like set aside some time for yourself.
Oof.
Usually I'll sit around the opposite direction, face the back, put my laptop up there, sit there for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Wow.
That might
straddle
be it.
pooper?
I don't know about that.
Straddle
If it happens around lunchtime, bring my lunch in, straddle the back.
All right. April Fools.
Right. I can't say I've ever heard anyone ever straddling the toilet that way.
Yeah, I know damn well.
You never sat backwards? You've got a desktop right there. You don't even need to sit at your desk. You just sit on the toilet.
Never
all day.
Small desk.
Never rode Cowboy?
I feel like that's a trick question, Bryce.
I don't know what you'd really call it, but that's fine. Is that reverse Cowboy?
It's called Cowgirl. The boy's not riding.
And if we're riding the toilet, then we are. That's what I'm talking about. What do you mean?
I was gonna say the berries used to have like the flavors, dude. They had like the sweet berry, like from Pokemon. If it was an orange berry, it would say bitter, and then you'd feed it to the shit, and it would get something. I don't know.
What game have you spent the most time playing? If you like think back like your whole life, what's the one game you think you've spent more hours playing than any other game?
Halo 3.
You know, I was gonna say maybe
it's either Halo 3 or COD 4.
Really? Yeah, honestly, I mean, Warzone during COVID was pretty wild.
You lose track of yourself playing multiplayer. If you're doing story games, you'll put in time to beat the story, do all the side missions, do all the side quests, 100% it, do everything you can.
But
if you're playing multiplayer games, like Halo 3, COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, during the glory days, Overwatch, like this guy plays nonstop, you're losing track of yourself.
100%.
You're putting hours.
I mean, I just lose myself on like True Crime Streets of LA and like even GTA. Like I would play with a friend, but like, you know, we didn't have online. So I would just be on the phone and we would just talk to each other on the phone and we would both just play the game. And it would just be midnight before you know it, you're like, all right, well, I guess we'll play a little more.
It is like thinking back to it. I have certain games that I associate with certain people because I played those specific games. I don't know. Like me and Dylan played a lot of games together, but I feel like there was, you know, I think of Dylan. I think of Dylan. I think of like Dark Souls because the game that we played the most. But then I have like my buddy Ryan. I played Gears of War with. I have Sharp. I play Madden and UFC.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Halo 3 and a lot of Call of Duty 4, but for like 10 years of my life, I played Dark Souls.
Is that your number one? Or you think you have more time on Dark Souls than Skyrim?
Yeah, I think I probably do.
Damn.
Probably close.
I played over Dark Souls. When's the first time we played in that game? Like 2011 when it first came out.
Yeah.
I think we rented it from Blockbuster. We were playing it at Bryce's house.
I rented from Redbox.
From Redbox.
Yeah.
And we were trying to beat the first boss, which is like this big demon, the asylum demon. He jumps down and he's hitting you with a giant hammer, and you don't have a weapon yet. And you're trying to smack him, and like it's a punishing game that we were not equipped to handle at that point.
Not prepared.
Didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
I remember when you guys streamed Dark Souls, but AKA Drunk Souls.
Yeah, that was later on.
And
that was probably about 5 years later with Dark Souls 2.
That was you guys just go up, die, just drunker and drunker as you went on.
So here's the thing: I think I bought Bryce Dark Souls 2 for his birthday, and we played that nonstop when it first came out. I can't remember the year, 2014, 2015 maybe.
2014.
And then I think like maybe a year later, maybe a little less, they came out with like a different version of it, Scholar of the First Sin. And what that did, if I remember correctly, it flipped the map and it added new enemies and it made everything harder. So when that game came out, Scholar of the First Sin, all right, we're going to put it on the stream. We're going to play Drunk Souls. And it's me and Bryce. Every time you die, you pass the sticks. And when you do die, you have to take a shot. And we got to the Forest of the Giants or something like that, the first area.
5 minutes into the game.
We didn't even get into the area. Like we got barely to the.
Remember, you guys like
cusp.
walked up like a hill or something like that, and
Yeah,
you
that's literally
the hill. It goes back to the hill every time. It was just back up the
Keep
hill,
going back to the hill.
death, back up the hill, death, and all I hear is Drunk Souls,
Drunk Souls.
That was one of the funnest times, man. That was a great time.
We blacked out literally within the first hour.
No,
I was
so
excited for that night, dude. Like I was at work closing, and they texted me like, "Oh yeah, I was like, oh, that's super cool idea." By the time I got off work and drove home, my 30 minutes max, I have the stream open on my phone, and it's just recording an empty living room. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What happened?
By that point, we busted through the back door to go barf.
Right. Literally, imagine we set the bar way too high, because that's basically like saying, okay, I'm going to take a shot every time there's a 3-pointer in a basketball game. It's like every minute and a half we're taking a shot.
We're basically taking like 6 or 7 shots in under an hour.
Yeah,
that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all.
I would say it's probably more than that. We both wanted to play. It was the main problem. So it wasn't like we're like, all right, I need a break. It was like, no, I got to give this another shot.
And the problem, the drunker we get, the worse we play.
100%.
We're drunk. We're both sitting on bar stools.
Drunk Souls.
So fun.
We didn't record that, did we? We just had it streaming.
I think it was just streaming.
We just streamed it.
Why wouldn't we have recorded it?
That would have been fun to watch.
Here's the thing,
back.
like 2014, 2015, it wasn't like the days of record everything. Everything is content.
Yeah, there wasn't Twitch at the time we were doing that, was there?
It was Twitch. It just started.
Twitch? Oh, it was like new.
Twitch had bought, or it used to be Justin TV, and then it moved over to Twitch.
That makes sense. I always think about there's always a stigma around gamers and gaming and stuff. And I was like, as long as you have like a balanced lifestyle, gaming is pretty healthy. It's a pretty healthy thing. I mean, not like healthy in like exercise way, but it's like it was a way of all of us to, instead of sitting in the house and not doing anything, we would be, playing games. Or especially during COVID, gaming was huge for people.
A lot of
you're stuck in your house, and it was literally just like, hey, I'm gonna hang out with the boys from 6 to 2.
Yeah,
and
everything's relative.
Talk to them.
You could either be playing video games for a couple hours, or you could be out fishing for a couple hours, or you could be watching a football game for a couple hours. The issue, kind of, is that video games make you really lose track of time really quickly.
It's true.
Start up the game, you play a few games, and you look up the clock. It's already 2 a.m.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, it goes super quick.
I don't remember who all. I know it was me, you, Brian, and I don't remember our fourth. But whenever this was in high school, and we were like probably 16, and I rented or I bought Dungeons and Dragons, the game.
Yeah, I remember that. I was trying to find that game like a few years ago.
Yeah.
just because it was so much fun playing.
Is it like
It was a couch co-op game.
Yeah, so it's like a top down. So there's there's 4 of us playing, and each one of us had a class. Like there was a healer, attack person, all that, and we were literally like we're playing as our characters, so we're like talking like them, and it was funny as hell. And then I think we came close to beating the game in one night. It was like supposed to be a sleepover. I think we were planning on doing something. We were planning on like going to play Manhunt or something, and we just sat there and just knocked this game out for over 8 hours. It was honestly such a good time. We were cracking up.
Along the same lines, you had gotten Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, Super Mario 2, Mario 2.
I never owned a Nintendo.
Maybe it was on a Wii or something.
Mario Party?
No,
Oh,
Super
Mario
Mario
World
World 2.
Oh, you're right. No, this was Super Nintendo. Yeah, you're right. Super Nintendo.
It's on the Super Nintendo that
Yeah.
year.
No, right.
It was his dad's. He doesn't count it as his.
And we stayed up all night playing that game, and I think we beat it.
I think we beat it in one night.
We did beat it because I took a picture of the fact that
Yeah.
I'd never beaten it before. And I
it one
remember we
night.
beat it, and I took a picture on my iPad, or
Right.
not my iPad, my iPod,
Oh, yeah.
like a second generation iPod. Before iPhones, I would walk around with my iPod everywhere and be
He
like,
had an iPod and he had a phone.
iPod and a flip phone.
Right.
Damn.
I guess it wasn't before iPhones, but it was before I had an iPhone.
Yeah.
I think that might have been like either a year iPhones came out, or because you had the bigger iPod. I was walking around my Shuffle at the time.
I still have that too. It's in one of those drawers.
My Shuffle's great.
I still have all my flip phones.
Right.
It's got a lot of drawers.
But no, the sense of accomplishment we got from that. I mean, what else is going to give you that sense of accomplishment than like what can you do in 2 hours that gives you the same reward as knocking out a game?
There's probably a few things, but
So you can run a marathon or something.
getting the house painted,
That's fair.
right? I don't know.
Yeah, no one's running.
Our
running 2 hours.
our high school science teacher was apparently in like Game Informer or maybe even the Guinness Book of World Record. I don't know.
Which one?
For beating one of the Mario games
Oh yeah.
with his feet.
Yep.
Who?
That's a little overcommitment.
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man.
R.I.P..
Rest in peace. Mr. Walker was the man.
Damn.
It's weird that his mom was the nurse of my elementary school.
Really?
And, yeah. I
didn't
asked him.
know
He's like, yeah. He's like, that was my mom. I was like, damn.
Was he bullshitting you? He's the
No.
type, he's the type to bullshit.
No, because I saw her. She had came one day.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
that's why you asked.
Yeah, but pretty crazy.
That's funny.
Shit like that makes you feel like you're living in a simulation. It's like, wait a second, are
Teachers
you for
are
real?
teachers. Teachers are second generation teachers.
How many times do you get a phone call
I get phone calls all the time.
and there's a little blip noise? It goes bloop. And then nothing.
They're recording you.
And then
And then it's static, and they go,
and then eventually somebody
Yeah.
will start talking.
Well, I think. I mean, that's just a call center thing.
No, I know. I'm asking how many times that happened.
I don't answer those phone calls, so
yeah.
my phone automatically, if I don't have the number saved, it just goes to voicemail.
Well, now with my line of work, I have to answer basically everything. Unless it says scam likely, I answer it. And
Still kind of answer it, even if it says scam likely.
Nah, I don't answer it. If it's a scam likely, that's a hard pass. But
Usually the blip is they're routing you to a phone person, to a call person. Like the machine is calling out all these numbers, calling numbers.
Right.
When somebody picks up, that bloop means they're going to reroute you over to somebody who's going to pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you say hello, and then it goes bloop, and then the person over the other end of the phone will go hello, like they're answering the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they'll go in their spiel like, do you want solar panels? Do you want this? Do you want that?
I do. I want all of it.
There's a lot of the times though where I'll answer the phone and nobody talks back to me.
I don't say anything
And
at
it's
first, though.
3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and they hang up.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, why are these people calling me, not responding? Even if it's a scam call, at least try to sell me on whatever it is you're trying to scam me for.
I feel like that puts you on a list.
And it wasn't until recently that I feel like I realized that this could be true, maybe it's not. I just say hello, and I don't say anything else, and then they eventually hang up. But if I were to say hello, who's there? Hello, this is Dylan.
Might trigger.
Hello, can you hear me? Maybe it would trigger it, but maybe they're recording my voice the whole time, and all they want to do is call me over and over and over again to get different variations of me talking, different inflections in my voice, different hellos, different how are yous, different who is this, different my name is Dylan, so then they can scan my voice and then start calling all my relatives, my friends and family.
No, it's fair. But
using AI to say, hey, this is Dylan. I need your help. I'm stuck on the side of the highway. My tire's flat. I need you to wire me money, $200.
Yeah.
And you can get me up and running, and I'll be on my way.
Man,
Like, those are scammers. Those are real things that are happening. People are using AI to clone people's voice and scan their family.
They're about to.
Well,
I'm done answering phone calls.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't even think. Because they could literally go on. Think about how many YouTubers or artists like what we're doing, or people doing what podcasting, and they just could target all those people, and you have endless fodder to go.
But they don't have those YouTubers' phone numbers.
But they don't need it. They don't need to have their voice.
They need to know. Well,
They got their name. They got their voice. They got endless hours of their voice.
Call Bryce, be like, hey, this is a sketch, brother. Can you send me $1,000 and I'll send you 10,000 next week? Bryce be like, yeah, brother, sending it now.
Right. I watched a video the other day, and it was a guy that he literally targets scammers, and he like tries to expose them. And it's pretty. I mean, it's he's using his skill set for a good cause and everything. But like that's maybe this guy's hobby. Like he gets off work from probably his like coding job, or he's definitely involved in some sort of IT stuff. But he'll call, or he'll get a call from a scammer. He'll save the number, and then later on he'll call them, and he'll like be able to he can hack into their like webcam, find their location, their address, all these information about them, and he'll like expose them on live stream. And that's what he does. That's like
I've seen a lot of those videos.
We go and play Minecraft. He goes and
he scams the scammers.
Scammers. But
My favorite one is where he shares his screen and puts in the code with them watching. And they're like, you don't have to do that, sir, please.
Oh, I've seen that one, yeah. Like he uses the gift card that they spent like the last 3 days trying to get or something.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's the whole scam, is that they want him to send them gift cards, but then he'll redeem it through like a fake program. So it shows code redeemed, $500 added to your account. And they have like meltdowns.
That's pretty funny. Wow.
Think about how these different countries are just preying on just American ignorance. Not even American ignorance, just ignorance in general.
Did you see the no, I don't think either of you guys would watch it, but the 60 Minutes episode that came on 2 days ago?
No.
About the Havana syndrome?
Oh, yeah, I had that locked up.
Yeah, you ready to bring that one out?
On TiVo.
Oh, you record?
you got it?
Wait, are you being sarcastic?
Yeah, I've not watched a fucking 60 Minutes.
Dude, you would absolutely love this. This is right up your. This is what you live for. But basically, I'm gonna quickly summarize Havana syndrome. But it originally started with U.S. officials were staying in a hotel in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba, and they reported and saying,
I can already tell you what's gonna happen.
Tell me what's going to happen, and he tells me the real thing.
Yep.
They got headaches. There was reports of a brain gun getting used, so to say.
Okay, so you either heard the story or you are currently looking at the headlines. What are you doing here? But yeah, so basically there's like U.S. officials who were staying in Havana, Cuba, and I forgot what the event was, but they started reporting like they were very fatigued. They were experiencing nausea, short-term memory loss, all these things. And then there was always like a conspiracy around it that they were microwave rays were hitting them, and like there's some sort of weapon that was hitting them with microwave waves it was messing up their brain function. So this happened in 2014, I believe. Well, the Pentagon assigned a task force to look into this. They're like, all right, just in case this is a real thing, we should understand and know what's going on. So the Pentagon, I forgot the guy's name, but he was the head of it. And so he did this research over the past, 10 years. And so finally he went on 60 Minutes because that was at a point where he was able to like disclose the information that he found. He's no longer under whatever the laws are. And he confirmed that the weapon exists, and it's owned by the Russians. And they have like, I think they said 20 different occurrences of officials reporting the same exact thing. And it's always at like these major summits or these major events where they have to either speak or meet with delegates. and they'll hit them with it the morning before, and so they can go in there and like they'll be scatterbrained and trying to negotiate these massive, political movements, and they're just been fried. Their brains have been fried the day before, but it's all like confirmed.
When was the original?
2014.
This originally happened in 2014, and then he had to hold off until talking about it now.
The first reported occurrence of it was 2014. The Pentagon assigned him in like 2016 to look into it, and then he over the next few years he was tracking occurrences of it, and then
I like to think with as much money as we pump into our military, there's no way that we don't have the same technology.
I'm sure we do. But at the same time, I think I don't even know if it was as much of like, did it happen or what is the weapon that did it? I think it's like who did it and who is basically attacking our officials, and them confirming that it was Russia is like, okay, you just found, which, I mean, Russia's blamed for a lot of different things now, but it's like, now we found an enemy. It's like, I mean, getting it's 60 minutes. It's not coming directly from the Pentagon, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you respond to that?
I think we took our talents to Russia.
Yeah.
Anytime a foreign diplomat, or I guess a domestic diplomat, American diplomat, goes over to talk with the Russians, work out some deals, they just wear their tinfoil hats. It'll bounce the radiation back at them.
There you go.
Hey, man, maybe they're on something.
It's 22.
Maybe they're on something.
I always think about that shit, though, and it's like, yeah, it's freaky, and that's crazy if it ever happened for real. But it's like, what are the odds? Who's going to waste that gun? They're going to see me walking down the street and be like, hey, got you. It's going to fucking waste the full extent of the ray on some random.
No, but what if, I mean, I don't want to get political here, but what if Biden has gone through some serious degrade because of attacks from foreign entities?
I don't know if he has to worry about.
What if they're just lighting his ass up?
They've been lighting up for a little while, right?
I mean, I get it. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, the dude's pretty old. How old is he?
He is pretty old, but
oldest president in history, right?
No.
Or is Trump the oldest president?
I think Trump was one of the oldest.
I think Biden might be.
Biden,
I don't know, to be honest.
I think Biden is currently the oldest president in history. I think
he's currently the president. I'll give
he's
you that.
older than Trump, I'm pretty sure.
I can't confirm that. I can't
only
confirm anything else.
But either way, they're both the oldest presidents in history.
They're both very old, yeah.
The dude's old. I mean, I've got my abuela is 86, 87 now.
Mm-hmm. I think I might trust her in office more than.
Well, I mean, she's getting up there in age. She's starting to lose sensibilities a little bit. She's.
They've been hitting her with that ray gun.
Maybe the Russians have been hitting her.
Yeah.
Your mind just starts to degrade a little bit. She'll ask
Cuban.
me if I want a glass of wine with my dinner. Be like, no, I'm okay. I've got a drink. Thank you though. Thank you for offering.
Mm-hmm.
Then she'll turn around and she'll be making the salad, and she'll like look over and see the bottle of wine. Oh, Dylan, would you like a glass of wine?
Shit, I do that.
No, I'm okay. Thank you though. I appreciate it. I've got my drink here.
Hey, next time just take the wine. All right.
Yeah, hide the bottle, dude.
Well, here's the thing.
Playing with her.
If I did take the wine,
it's weird that you both just got up and did the same move and everything just now, same exact time.
If I did take a glass of wine, I'd have 3 or 4 glasses in 10 minutes.
That's how it goes. Well, you just gotta take the glass of wine, put it in front of you, and that way you're not saying no to her every time. You just gotta accept everything.
Just gotta accept it.
Take it.
I do agree there is a certain age where it gets scary old. Like my grandpa, this isn't recently, a couple years ago, he was trying to make fried pickles because he liked them at the restaurant or whatever. And this motherfucker drops a whole ass cucumber in boiling oil, burns his hand like up to the wrist. And we were like, what happened? What happened? What were you doing? And he goes, I was trying to make fried pickles with a cucumber. It's like scratch my head like, oh, okay.
So how was it?
That's great.
It wasn't even
Very
pickled
crispy.
yet.
Was it
Very crispy.
It was just a fried cucumber? Did he end up leaving it on the fryer, or did it, after the burn, he just like, all right, we gotta scrap this?
He cut up a regular cucumber and dropped it in boiling oil, and just like it exploded because of the moisture, and just like burnt all.
He
over
missed a
him.
couple parts of that recipe. That's the issue.
I think the pages were stuck together like
Yeah.
the trifle situation.
They said get the cucumber, and then he saw the fried. He said, all right, that's pretty simple to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the house is on fire.
Easy.
Makes sense.
All right, well, we got another episode today. It's Dingy and Brucey and Dylan and Oggero.
Prime time. Let's go.
Man.
Vibes were good today. I like it. We started off.
He's introing us.
I thought
No, bro, you're good. You're good.
That was the intro.
That was the intro. Just send something.
There was the intro, but you said vibes were good.
I said, well, I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying, well, sorry. I was part of the, anyways. Reset. Okay.
You don't gotta say reset every time.
I gotta reset. I gotta. It's a trigger in my brain.
Yeah. And cut this in right now.
All right. No, man. So like, before we sat outside for a little bit, took in some sun, and I'm starting to realize it could be a placebo sort of thing. But like with me working office job, and I get out of work kind of late, and normally I'm doing errands and stuff, so I don't like have relaxing time until after it's already dark.
Yeah.
So I would say for 80% of the week, I don't see much sun. And this past weekend, I just made it a point to, hey, like no matter what I'm doing, I need to be outside and be getting sun. I've noticed such a uptick in energy level and concentration after this past weekend, which again, it was a weekend of being able to relax and enjoy myself, so it has a lot to do with it. But no, I am underestimating the power that a little vitamin D gives you.
I think I'm going to do that this weekend. I think Saturday after work, I'm going to go get food, and then I'm going to go relax by the pool, because technically me and Amir were supposed to do that this weekend, but I had to get my phone fixed and a few other little things, so we only got to be at the pool for maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It was pretty cold in the pool, so we didn't go. Amir jumped in the pool. I went to the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And then this guy started talking to us. Nice guy, older gentleman. He started talking about planes and stuff, and I don't really know a lot about planes, but interesting. But ultimately, I thought I was like, after, because he had asked him a couple questions later, like he kept walking around, and he walked back and he's like, hey, asked me about the gate for the apartment and things like that, because his son lives there, and I'm like, yeah, and tell him whatever. And then it was at the end, I was like, Amir, I got kind of weird. He's like, nah, I think when you just get to a certain age, you're not weird anymore. It's just who you are. And I was like, I guess that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
I can only imagine what you and Amir are like at the pool together.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Just the conversations y'all have while like being shirtless in the water.
Normally we're just there. Oh yeah, normally the conversations are a little bit different. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just whatever.
Hit me.
And we might both be on or off alcohol or THC, but he hit you, bud.
God.
But yeah.
Wow.
We need to reevaluate this.
You got any more mixer?
We do just talk about some randomness.
Oh.
No way, that guy's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, Amir?
All right. Oh yeah, Amir. Amir's weird. They barely give me any, dude. I poured four shots.
He don't want to give you any. Figure you just get more out of that bottle.
Y'all keep talking. Oh, you got some.
I think when people ask specific questions like that, it does set off like a weird alarm.
I don't know,
for me at least.
Maybe he's just interested. Like he really wants to know the answers, but
so he also wants to talk planes. Like he knew about planes.
Yeah, he was telling
like, you about them.
He was like, "Oh, did you guys go to the air show?" And I was like, "No." And
Sun and Fun is at the time of this recording, the time this airs. Sun and Fun is this weekend in Tampa.
McDill.
In McDill.
Yeah, I think he was talking about.
Last weekend.
Oh, okay, the air show is what he was talking about.
Yeah,
but I guess he's from Alabama, and he was talking about going to a show.
Was he an older guy?
Yeah.
Like how old?
I don't know. How age works.
Most of the premise 55? Of this story was the fact that he was an older guy.
Yeah.
Talking about the Blue Angels and stuff.
That's what. So I was watching. What would you do? And it was one we can. I can go on a tangent about that show, but I'm not going to. The whole thing was like
recently.
Yeah. They're walking around. Let's stay focused real quick. So the what would you do scenario was it was like a grandma, older woman that was walking around a grocery store, and she just kept on like she was the actress in the scenario, and she would just start talking to people, and like wouldn't stop. And so it was just seeing how people reacted to that. And most people were very understanding and like literally would walk around with her. Like she would ask him questions like, hey, like, how do you know if the banana is ripe? And they would answer that. And then they would go and like talk about organic milk and all this stuff. And everybody's response was, oh, she's an older woman. We don't know her scenario. She probably doesn't interact with too many people constantly because, most of the time their lifestyle is more stay at home, waiting for family or loved ones to call. And so a lot, like they could literally just be sitting there for days and with all this stuff that they want to talk about and they don't have anyone to talk about.
Oh, no, for sure. Well,
so when they get in these scenarios, yeah.
Well, him and his son, I guess, do go to the air show together. So he can talk to his son about the planes and stuff.
Right.
But I was interested because, I am slightly interested in planes. Not enough to like know a lot about it. But I was like, fuck it. If he wants to talk about it, I'm down to talk about it. It is strange that us three are just in the jacuzzi talking about it. But, I'm down to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, jacuzzi's a social setting.
When you said the show, what would you do?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the show Worst Case Scenario. Remember that one?
I don't know that one.
Where it was like a guy that would teach you what to do in the worst case scenario.
Oh,
one of the ones I do remember is if you're trying to bench press, you got too much weight on, no spotter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to get the weight off you?
Well, don't put the cable, don't put the locks on
Well,
if you're
that's
don't
what
have
he
a
tells
spotter. Yeah.
This is a show like back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That's what he was telling you. Like, don't put the locks on, or like roll it down your body, get it into your stomach, and then like you can sit up at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get it to your waist, and then you can like push it off or something.
Bend up, yeah. No,
But I wasn't thinking you were talking about
John Quinones.
the one where the guy like isn't like an actor, and then the guy eventually comes out and be like, "Hey, you're on the show. What would you do?"
Yeah. No, like we can knock it all you want, but that is one of the greatest shows for society.
It's funny.
Ever. Funny. It's not funny.
Well, no, it's
I watched one, and the one that I watched was it was a mom at a restaurant and she doesn't have enough to cover the whole bill. Like I forgot the whole scenario, but like the restaurant gave one of her kids a free milkshake and the other kids wanted a milkshake. So she's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Like, can we bring a milkshake? And then she couldn't afford the whole bill. And so it was like people at other tables, everyone offered to pay her bill. And like they would go in like most of them.
I feel like it's for the kids though.
It's definitely for the kids. I mean,
because I feel like if it was like two adults out there and they were like, oh yeah, we can't afford the bill, I'd be like, all right, well then fuck off.
That's that's
dishes
the hard
in the back.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I agree. I think I would do the same way. It depends on the person, the scenario, all that sort of thing. You're gonna evaluate it. But in this scenario, I mean, because it's not real, the people's reaction to it, I don't know.
I have a question.
Pretty good.
Can people really do dishes in the back for their meal? You know what I mean? Like, or is it just something that everybody was always saying?
I think that's. I mean, maybe for like some family-owned place, but you're not going to do that at like a Applebee's. They're not going to let you go in the back.
I'll do that now.
Yeah.
You go try to have dinner with a family of 4, $75.
Yeah.
No matter where you go.
Right.
If I could just do dishes in the back for a couple hours and then pay my
Pay
debts.
it off.
Like,
No,
You
absolutely.
guys go home. I'll see you guys a little bit.
yeah, I'll see you guys later.
I got to pay the bill in the back. Feed you guys at home.
No, absolutely.
Maybe I'll get you guys something to go, I don't know. I feel like growing up is like, all right, well, if we can't afford it, we got to do the dishes. I'm like,
That did happen in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. That's where Pee Wee meets Simone.
Is that our baseline for reality?
Yeah. Anything that happens in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
real.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
He goes,
I think
everyone,
it's an old school.
come on, Simone, what's your big butt? Everyone's got a big butt. What's holding you back in life? But then Simone's boyfriend overhears. They're inside the dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh, it's in the that was actually really
Come on,
cool
Simone.
little place.
What's your big butt? And it's like the bad guy from
Popeye.
Popeye. Yeah. How'd you know?
It's the only bad guy I know.
He's good.
He looks just like him. And he gets pissed.
Yeah, it's about
Doesn't like Simone talking to Pee Wee about big butts.
right.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I can relate to that.
So I went to Rural King over the weekend, a couple weeks ago. And if you want to see the salt of the earth, go to your nearest Rural King.
What does that mean, the salt of the earth?
Salt of the earth are like
You're,
the most important people in society.
what?
They're
Most
the
important
one.
people.
Yeah, they're your everyday Joes. They're your moms or your pops.
Depends on who you consider the most.
They're the
important
ones that are getting by. They're the ones that are, just
doing it.
Your
they're
everyday
the backbone.
people.
They're the backbone of the
backbone
U.S.
of the country.
Oh,
They're your everyday people.
Your farmers.
that's who Dylan wants
your
to be.
craftsmen.
Yeah,
The
they're
backbone
part
of
of
our
your
country.
Your
community.
blue collar, good, hardworking.
We don't have any of that in
people.
my community.
They're the salt of the earth,
You know
baby.
that? Yeah, you.
They
live-
My community is next to UT. They're just
exactly. You.
they all
and
came
that-
from something.
They
somewhere.
You uppity, bro.
They keep the
Yeah.
world turning. If you want to see them, you go to your nearest rural king,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great place. It's like if you haven't been there,
I love Roku.
love Rural King. Dingman, you ever been?
No, I don't. I have no idea what it is until you said it. The only king I know is Burger.
Oh, BK. This is RK. So not R. Kelly. This is it's got like it's a gun store. It's a sportsman's store. It's a feed store.
Yeah.
It's a hardware store. It's like a Walmart for all these things.
Mm-hmm. Imagine it's like a Bass Pro Shop, but a Costco version of it.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Pretty nice place. So
Sounds rural.
I got Porter. We're getting some items that we need. We're getting
Blue shovels.
heat lamps, no blue shovels. Heat lamps for the quail. Getting a little brooder. We got the quail eggs.
You got quail?
Yeah, we got quail. You weren't.
You got quails.
Oh, you didn't meet the quail. We met the quail last week.
Wait,
They
is
did.
quail plural?
Where the heck are your
Quail
quail?
is already plural.
Where your quail at?
Yeah, they got quail.
I'll show you the quail after this.
Okay.
So we got some eggs incubating, but as I'm going out to the car after we got done, I'm getting my stuff in the car. I'm putting my son in the car. The cashier runs out to the car 2 cars over from me. She goes, "Sir, you're $3 short. It's $65. You gave me $62." And it was cash. And she's like holding the cash up.
She ran out of the store with the money?
Ran out of the store with the money to show him you're $3 short, and some change. So he goes, "What? What are you talking about? What? And he pulls out $3 and gives her $3. He goes, "And some change." And like at this point, the guy is pissed off. "I'm $3 short and some change. I just gave you the extra money, and now you want some change." He said, "Why are you counting my money? You didn't count anybody else's money." She's like, "Sir, I did count everybody else's money. Of course, I count everybody's money. I'm the cashier. If I'm short, I owe. So why'd you count my money? You didn't count anybody else's money." He was real pissed off at the fact that she came after him
It's playing the victim.
looking for the money. The dude was playing the victim card. Apparently, he had given her the money and just left right away.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even wait for her to count. Over $3. Maybe he miscounted. Maybe she miscounted.
She counted it. She's like, $3 and change. Gave it to her. She's like, $3 more short, actually.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny that he immediately went to why did you count my money, but you didn't count anybody else's money?
Exactly. Instead of saying
Oh, my bad. Here you
instead of
go.
saying, "Oh, you must have miscounted," or
They're
questioning.
paying by card.
I paid the card. Hold on.
Instead of questioning that she might be wrong, he questioned, "Why did you only check me?" And that's a bad sign.
No.
Yep.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think people that, I don't know. I feel like people that play the victim should take them to the middle of town and
Take him to the center of town.
It all depends.
I tell
man.
you what.
It
I
all
tell you
depends.
what.
I don't know. I think I'm never on the lookout. I'm never in the mindset that I might be victimized or I might not be, what is the word for it? I might not be the victim of a
playing
crime.
the victim.
I automatically assume I'm not the victim of a crime. I feel like I'm like more trusting, and I believe that people are doing good towards me, but
You
I
give
think that's
people
also
the benefit of the
privilege
doubt.
thing. Yeah, but I think that's because 90% of the time I've been treated a certain way, and it's always been pretty positive. So if I was in a scenario where even if it was like 1 out of 5 of my interactions had a negative connotation to it, then I might be more aware of negative connotations.
yeah, but I feel like people that play the victim are trying to dupe people already.
I agree. Some people weaponize that, which
Yeah.
is a problem. But I don't know. It's tough. It's very situational. It's very subjective. It's interesting concept.
Maybe it's just me, but when I have random interactions with people, in my head, I'm thinking, what do you want? Everyone wants something. So it's like, if you're randomly coming up to me and I don't know you, what do you want? Is what I'm immediately thinking.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me for
I
this,
kinda
I
feel
lost
that.
my keys. I don't have enough gas to get home. Okay, so you
Oh.
want money.
Yeah, and those sort of interactions. Yeah, of course, clearly.
How do you handle those situations? If somebody comes up to you saying, I just need $2 extra.
I ain't got it.
No, not giving it to you.
I ain't got it.
The first thing, I don't have any cash. I'm sorry.
I got plenty of cash in my pocket. I ain't got it.
It's so tough to know these days. It's so tough to know what you're supporting, what you're giving money to. Like, I mean, you always see these videos. I mean, it happens more overseas and stuff, but of like you go to give money to like a homeless person on the side of the road, and then they turn around and they're like they hop in their car later on. Well, right? It's like
I mean, we walked out of like the barbecue place the other day, and this homeless guy's like inside, but you could tell he's a little off. But I remember he asked, like, there's a slice of cake on the table. It's in a plastic thing, but a guy's sitting at the table, and the guy's like, "Is that your cake?" Like, "Yeah, motherfucker. Whose cake you think? Like, whose cake do you think it is?" Mm-hmm. And then he's like, and the guy's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, all right." Like, then he walks off, and he's like talking to other people in the restaurant, which like honestly they need to bounce his ass out of there. However, they didn't. He walked out, and like me and Amir are walking out, and he's like, "Hey man, any of you guys got a couple dollars?" And I'm like, I look at Amir to say like, "Let's just keep walking, keep going." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Nah, we're good." And then Amir like walks the other way, and he's like, "Oh, let me see if I got a couple dollars." No, I ain't got nothing, man. Sorry. Like, Amir, fuck off, fucking walk. Mm-hmm. Don't try to play this game. Yeah, all right.
I agree.
Yeah, it's almost like
Amir would have gave him the money. That's the thing. But,
right. If he had something, he would have given.
But I don't know, man. I don't like when people solicit. No soliciting allowed.
Yeah, I mean nowadays I feel like I don't know enough about it to really speak on. Actually,
I feel like if you're starving, if you're actually hungry and starving, and you need food or something, and you come up to me in the street and you say, "I need food or I'm gonna fucking die," that'll probably get you something. But like from giving people money, like my two favorite scenarios where I used to be that guy, like, "Oh, you got $1? Yeah, I got $1 for you. Oh, you gonna finish that? Yeah, you can have the rest of this or whatever." When I was a kid, we had just came from Chick-fil-A or from Burger King or somewhere, McDonald's, and a homeless guy, we were stopped at a street light. My mom was like, "Look, this person is in need. We're going to give them some of our food because they need it." Mm-hmm. So she rolls down the window, gives it to this person. And he goes, "This has mayonnaise on it." And he fucking threw the burger on the ground, something like that. And I was like, okay, not going to give people anything ever again.
I feel like that, Dylan, you tell me, but I feel like that has completely changed. That mindset. It used to be, my parents raised me to like if you have excess, you donate, you help people out. Like if there's someone on the side of the road, you check in on them, that kind of thing. And I feel like that is done a complete 180 now because so much bad stuff is happening in the world that it's like look out for yourself first. Do not worry yourself with other people. Like stranger danger. I don't know.
Oh,
well, you gotta put your mask on before you help others. So
yeah. There's this lady that lives. I mean, she doesn't live, but I assume she's homeless because I see her like on the bench below my apartment, like at night usually. Mm-hmm. And there's been times where like I'll leave and I'll see her, and I was like going to McDonald's. Yeah, I got her a few things. I walked up to her, gave her a full meal, like a chicken sandwich with fries and a drink.
You see pretty often, or
yeah, I see her, and I gave her like $20 too. She's right. Like, and she never like I walk by her all the time. She never says anything, never asks me for anything, nothing like that.
That's a good
and I was
scenario,
like, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Here you go. She was like, just so thankful and everything, and super nice. I think I gave her food another time too, but like after that, but.
No, I think that's perfect scenario.
She never like even when I walk by her now, she's never like, "Oh, can I get like
right?"
Just chilling.
Even though you don't like you don't have a talk with her, like you're still interacting with her by walking by her every day, and you can kind of get a feel for what's going on in her life.
But I do always want to like when I see some like homeless people, I always do want to talk to them and ask them questions and stuff. But I don't. But I'm always like, they probably wouldn't mind talking, especially like if you gave them, monetary thing too, to like, oh hey, like. I do want to ask you some questions, just this and that. But then there's some people that are just yelling and talking and like talking to himself and yelling. I'm like, let me get away. Like I was lit one day and I go to pick up my Uber Eats from out front and this dude's just screaming and yelling. I'm like, let me get this food as fast as possible and get the fuck back inside.
Right. Well, I think now it's like homelessness and that sort of thing have been so associated with some sort of like illness, like mental illness or like even I don't know. It's like you see so many videos and stuff that you assume that there's a reason why this person is homeless, and it's most likely a reason that could also make them dangerous. And so it just makes you even more like you need to avoid them. You need to stay away from that because I don't know. It's
a difficult situation because how many homeless people want to actually fix their situation versus the ones that are struggling with addiction versus the ones that are struggling with mental disorders.
Yeah.
You got 3 different camps of people, and the ones that give everybody a bad name are the ones that might have their addictions, and they don't want to fix anything.
Yeah.
And they don't care if you think they're the scum of the earth, but they're going to panhandle and get in your face and try to get your money. And, if you don't give them $1, maybe the next person will. And they're going to spend that money on whatever drug of choice that, fixes their fancy. But then there's other people that do have the bipolar disorders that have been, dehomed, as they say now, because they don't have a job. They can't have a job because of their disability, and they can't pay their bills. They have no regularity in their life.
Mm-hmm.
They end up on the streets.
I brought this story up like a month or 2 months ago, but it was the guy that tried to open the door on the airplane. He tried to open it in the middle of the flight, and from everybody else's account of it, like he just had like some sort of episode. Like he was totally fine before, he was totally fine after, but in that moment he had some sort of like schizophrenic episode. Well, they just released the body cam footage of the cops like talking to him and trying to understand him, and he just is not there at all. He was like talking about how he met his wife in a YouTube video, Googled her address. He was flying to go meet his wife, and his wife was there, just some random girl that made a YouTube video, and he just like stalked her, looked up all her information. So that's why he was flying out to see her. And the reason why he opened the door was because he had to prove his commitment to her, and his commitment would be getting to her as fast as possible. And so he had to open the door to jump out, and that's how the fastest way he could get to her. And so I'm over here thinking, like, I thought, okay, man, he just had a scary episode, but no, this is really just like this guy is.
No, he's already lost it.
But that's what's so wild to me. It's like think about traveling, right? Getting on a plane is not an easy task to do. You got to be relatively organized. You have to be able to go through different steps. You have to be there on time. You have to have your boarding pass. You might have a passport or show ID.
Had to have bought a ticket.
You have to make it through TSA. You got to get through security. You got to do all these different things. He was capable of doing all these things, but he also just couldn't correlate in his head that jumping out of the plane is not a way to get to your fake wife. It's
dude, insanity plea. That's the only way he doesn't do a life in jail. It's like he has to act crazy now, or else
think about what he did. What he did was not intended to be a criminal act. He didn't do it to hurt people. He did it to, like, it's any
based off of what? Based off of his words. Because I'm not believing the crazy guy trying to open the fucking airplane door.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He is crazy. He's not acting crazy for an insanity plea. He's acting crazy because he's crazy.
Crazy both ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, still crazy.
Still crazy.
Right. So it's like, I don't know, but I mean, the fact that that's what is so like, this bothers me is that there's people that can still. There might be crazy people around you, and they're pretty high functioning, and you can't tell until they snap, and they got nothing to lose. And it's like, what? How do you protect yourself from that? How do you
You just gotta be crazier than the crazy people.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
That's a fair point.
I guess so.
If you're crazier than the crazies, you're gonna scare somebody away.
Just always anticipate what could happen versus what is happening.
Right.
Expect the unexpected.
Yep. Stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared.
But I mean, how can you prepare for someone standing on a flight and trying to open a fucking door?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to be ready to jump up and take them down. You got to be physically able to overpower this person or have a tool that'll allow you to.
I'm like Dingman. I'm in the back fucking bathroom, dude.
Yeah.
This is going on.
I don't know what's going on.
Unreal.
Well, I tried to get us an anchovy pizza.
I could tell you're working on it.
A lot of anchovies.
Oh, yeah? Did you go to the Cuban pizza?
Got a pepperoni coming.
Oh,
Oh my God, I can't eat pizza. I had my calories for the day.
Did your Wingstop?
Well, you're going to have to eat some now.
Oh,
It's on the way.
bad people.
I've actually been on the carnivore diet. Kind of, not really. For like the last week. So I've been eating nothing but mostly just chicken, because that's all we really have. Kind of some chicken sausages, chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs. Went to an Easter party over the weekend, had some ribs, had some smoked chicken. I've actually been eating like a lot of nuts too, like cashews, almonds, because that's like the chicken of the ground, right?
Okay. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I agree.
Chicken of the ground.
Yeah, chicken of the ground.
How does it make a chicken of the ground?
It's got a lot of protein in it. It grows out of the ground.
Oh,
It's like the chicken of the ground.
Okay, I'll agree. I'll agree with that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the meat of the earth.
Meat of the earth, chicken of the ground.
That's a mushroom, but
Ooh, that might be right also.
Well, nuts and mushrooms, they're probably part of the same family, I bet.
Yeah,
gotta be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mushrooms are a fungus.
They both grow out of the earth,
Nuts are.
then they're on the same family spectrum.
Do nuts grow out of the earth?
I think you're thinking. What?
same spectrum, I think.
Peanuts grow on the earth. Yeah, I think most nuts grow.
Or they grew on a vine,
Do they grow on a vine?
like an olive.
You know, I just had that thought.
You got
Where do nuts
olive's
come
the same
from?
as a mushroom, though.
They don't come from trees.
Nuts. Do you dig nuts out like potatoes, or are they on a vine, on a plant? Cashews,
Nowhere.
Peanut tree.
Peanuts.
Isn't it a tree? I don't know.
almonds,
Bush.
Can I get a visual representation?
pecans.
Seen acorns before? What's an acorn?
Acorns, a seed off
Acorn's a
of
seed
an
off
oak
a
tree.
tree.
When I'm talking about acorns, you don't eat those.
I used to always
Pecans.
think you could eat them though.
Where do you get cashews from? Where do you get almonds from?
I bought them from the store.
I don't know. Are those ground ones? Or those? I don't know.
That's the question. Do they come from a vine or do they come from the ground? I
Like
don't know.
how hard would it be to open our own cashew farm?
Oh, we need the land. Need
Dylan has land.
to feed who?
Like, it'd be enough to bring to our local farmers market.
Maybe.
You'd have a handful every year.
Not a local farmers market around here.
What do you mean they got some big suppliers out there?
Yeah,
You
dude.
got a lot of
I
competition.
got planters out there.
Add some like mix them up. Throw a little sriracha on top. Boom. Gourmet cashews.
I think
Organic.
cashews are already gourmet.
No,
I got a big bag of cashews upstairs. You want some?
not a big.
We
cashew
got a pizza
guy.
on the way.
I'm more of a candied almond guy.
What's your favorite nut?
Cashew.
Candied almonds.
I had never had pistachios. I'd seen this guy, Mike, eat pistachios before, and it just never suited my fancy. Like, pistachios is in a big giant shell. Didn't look appetizing at all.
Right.
But I recently got some
Shelled.
salted pistachios shelled from Costco. Big, like 2-pound bag. If that's not the best nut there is,
Why?
I don't know what the best.
I always feel like the cashew is because it's fattier.
Yeah.
And it's more buttery.
Well, cashews are too white. They're too like vanilla for me.
Oh,
There's no flavor.
we get them. Yeah, you get them salted, or you get them with the sweet mix.
Why did cashews have like the strongest marketing campaign of all nuts for a good 6 years there?
You're thinking of pistachios. You're not thinking of cashews.
Right.
I think you're thinking of pistachios.
Apparently the marketing wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Pistachios are green.
Pistachios had a big marketing push,
Pistachio.
but it was one brand.
America's
Yeah, it was one
nut.
brand.
What's the
Pistachio.
brand?
It's called pistachio.
This is called pistachios.
How do you brand pistachio?
It's just like
You just
Q-tip.
you build a company based around or an LLC based around pistachios and you call it pistachios.
pistachio.
But they're like smoky,
We're talking
flavorful.
About, talking about cashews.
Salt.
Go get me some of these.
Pistachios.
Let me try them.
We hate all those, man. They're gone. I got cashews.
You just
I
say
don't
you got
pistachios.
cashews.
You ain't got no pistache.
You got no
No
pistache.
stash of
dude.
pistachios.
No pistache.
No
Those were the
pistachios.
first to go.
Man,
I bought pistachios. I bought cashews, and I bought
I hate walnuts. They're so dry.
Yeah, I'm not a
almonds.
walnut guy. Walnuts don't
almonds.
hit right.
What are the ones that grow out of California?
Pecans? No.
Raisins, California raisins.
Ones that are out of California that causes a bunch of drought. I think they're the almonds.
What kind of shit?
I don't really like
California
almonds that much either.
I bought 3 bags, and they were all about the same weight, pound each, maybe 2 pounds each. We finished the pistachios, and we still got tons of cashews and tons of almonds
Is
left.
it you full family pistachios, or is it just you and the
Or you
wife?
got just a bunch of regular nuts.
We're crazy.
Can we talk about the Veggie Tales?
We're talking about nuts.
Okay. Big jump.
We could talk about VeggieTales
It's a
after
big
we
jump.
discuss some
Yeah,
nuts.
let's finish the nuts.
Vegetables is
conversation.
next week, dude.
Okay, you're right.
No, we'll
you're
talk
right.
nuts, and then we'll move over to vegetables.
I don't have a whole lot to say about the VeggieTales.
Then we'll move over to fungi, which is mostly going to be a discussion about me.
You're not that fun of a
He's
guy.
a fun guy.
Uh,
Let's play some Drunk Souls while we're at it.
Start calling you chicken of the earth.
Chicken Little.
Oh boy, we've gone off the rails.
So yeah, carnivore diet's okay, but I recently saw the.
How you have the carnivore diet and you're eating all these nuts?
I just told you.
Supposed-
That's
Chicken
the
of the-
meat. That's the
yeah,
meat of the earth.
You're right. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a
that's right.
real gatherer to me, but that's okay.
No hunter.
No hunter.
Straight gather.
Mm.
I mean, after you hunt, what do you got to do?
Gather.
Gather it.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Dylan. You don't have to gather 'em.
Mom said you don't have to do that.
It's already gathered. You hunt it and it's in your stash.
Right. Once you hunt it, it's already yours.
But
you don't
if
have to gather it.
And if the creeper comes up and you lose your whole stash,
Oh, that sounds
That's
terrible.
never
you got to
good time.
respawn at the bed point. If you've set a bed spawn, if you haven't set a bed spawn, then you respawn on the way out in the
Rule number
the
one:
wilderness.
always keep your bed on you.
Right.
Always go to sleep before when the night comes.
Just now in my head, I was thinking like, what if there was like a real world Minecraft and it's the fucking Boy Scouts?
Nah, you don't ever take your pickaxe and go hunt for diamonds.
Yeah,
Well,
were you
that's what
guys
you should
Boy
be doing.
Scouts?
I
No,
was
I was
for I was for a little bit.
I ate a brownie once.
Yeah,
I'm
me
sorry.
too.
Up the creek without a paddle.
Nah,
That's Dak Shepard. Here he comes back again on the show. Are
Dak
you
Shepard
kidding
making
me?
another appearance.
How's he coming
He
back?
does it, dude. I love Dak.
I was a Boy
Dak.
Scout for, I mean, I feel like a couple years. We used to go to the meetings, and we never really did anything. And I was always like, man, let's do something. And then we finally went camping.
This is what I'm saying. The Boy Scout marketing was ridiculous.
Oh,
You get the
yeah.
brochures.
The brochure
you see
looks so fun.
archery,
Yeah.
When I got in fifth
mountain
grade,
climbing,
that was it. I didn't want to do any of that
camping,
stuff, but it sounded great.
survival skills. Like, dude, this is what I want to do. Boy Scouts? Are you kidding me? I love this.
If they didn't have to wear the uniforms and the kids that were in the Boy Scouts didn't wear the uniforms to school, it would be a pretty cool thing to do.
Yeah, it would have been more of like a fun thing.
Right.
So I joined the Boy Scouts, and we go to the meeting.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Boy Scouts. Here's the meeting. And this is about a meeting for the next meeting.
It's the same meeting every time.
And then we go to the next meeting. It's like, kid, this is the meeting
Yeah.
for the next meeting. I'm like, dude, we're doing
Finally, though.
3 meetings.
Finally.
Right.
After the 3rd meeting, I was done. I
Finally
didn't go
went,
back.
Exactly.
finally went on a camping trip.
I never did anything. I quit.
I went on a camping trip. It was me, my dad, a couple of the Boy Scouts. I think one of the other guys, maybe like 1 or 2 dads or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember eating this ravioli, but it was cold and it was hot as hell outside. And I ate this cold ass ravioli, and I felt awful. And I don't know honestly if I really felt sick or if I was nervous about what was going on. Of maybe I don't want to fish. Hold on, maybe I don't want to go out and find these things.
No, yeah. It
I was
could be
like,
tough.
but I don't. So I don't remember if I was actually like. I mean, I did feel bad, but I think I was also psyching myself out. But sounded like a good time until I went and did it, and then it wasn't that fun of a time.
If they came to me on the first meeting and like did the whole meeting thing and like, all right, kids, let's all go outside and throw axes. You better be damn sure I'm coming
in.
back for the
Locked.
next meeting.
Lock me in.
If they did anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was nothing. It was like sit around, wait,
Yeah,
old people talk,
Yeah.
pay your dues, and that was.
got my
Money
uniform.
grab.
I wore my uniform, got a picture, and I don't think I ever put it back on again.
I don't know if I ever got a uniform. My Boy Scouts might have been no uniform because I didn't want to wear that ugly ass uniform.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like all the outdoorsmen I know right now, none of them were Boy Scouts. They were all like football players or were, they were too busy actually hunting to be on the Boy Scouts. But then everybody that I know joined a marching band, start off as Boy Scouts. It's a quick segue. You
March
go
right
from
in.
Boy Scouts to marching band.
Glad I wasn't a Boy Scout because I would
couldn't
have
understand
I'd
it.
been awful in the marching band.
Yeah. I think you did pretty well.
Nah, I think the only marching I can do is for civil rights.
I respect
We'll
that.
cut that, huh?
I respect that. Now bring me along. Bring me along. And
So-
next one you got, let me know.
So like 6 episodes ago, we were talking about our business ideas.
Yeah.
I talked about a movie theater. I've also had this other idea for a long time.
Boy Scouts.
And I think I could say it because I'm probably never going to do it.
That's not good.
And if anybody else out there does it,
Do it.
it'd be pretty cool. We can cut it if you guys don't want to talk about it.
Do it.
Or if we think it's that good of an idea that we shouldn't talk about it.
We're listening.
The idea is vacation.
Yeah, I like vacations.
Travel, destination vacations.
You're giving me all the buzzwords right now. I love it. Keep it up.
Here's where it goes down south.
SEO.
For you guys.
Okay.
But it's a survival vacation.
Done.
You're not staying in a resort. You're living on the land.
The Hatchet experience.
The Hatchet experience.
Mr. B survived 7 days on an island.
But you're with a survivalist
Oh.
who's going to teach you how to survive in the elements that you choose. And the name of the business is Brave the Elements. The name of the experience is Brave the Elements. So you pick your location, you pick your destination. We work with different survival guides in these different areas, and you book a trip. Maybe we help you with the travel arrangements, maybe not, I don't know. But you get to that destination, and you meet up with your guide, and they take you into the wilderness. They teach you about the wildlife, the fauna, how to survive. You've got like a checklist of what you need to bring or whatever, and you live out in the wilderness for these guys for maybe a week.
No, that'd be awesome.
Damn.
And they run you through the rigor, and they teach you how to make it.
Is it the rigger? I used to always think it was the ringer.
run you
through the ringer.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's a rigorous experience.
It is a
Which
rigorous
one on?
experience. Run you through the rigorous experience is what he was trying to say.
But does it run you through the rigger or run you through the ringer?
I'm going to put you through the ringer.
It is ringer.
Ringer. Yeah. It's not where you
Because it
run
rings it out, right? Like it's like a...
Yeah. You get the last drop out.
Okay,
of them,
cool.
put
Sorry.
them to the ringer.
Well, the tagline
sounds cool.
The tagline for the business is "We'll run you through the rigor."
The rigorous experience. Okay. That's
Yeah,
fair.
as long as your enunciation is fine, I think you shouldn't have any issues.
The problem with this, this exists in a lot of different ways. Like you have a lot of this normally goes like hunting stuff. Like you can go sign up for like Alaskan caribou hunt where you go with a guide and there you just spend like 2 to 3 weeks tracking caribou and they teach you how to survive while you're doing this. And it's just like you go through with these, survival experts and which it makes sense. The only issue is that the companies that offer this, they're all like you have $8,000 to $10,000 for the full experience.
Well, yeah, because you gotta
super expensive.
cover a lot of costs.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea. I would sign up for it.
I used to sign up for it every day on Discovery Channel.
Yeah,
Bear Grylls used to show me the ways.
Bear Grylls celebrities when they had Marshawn Lynch out there.
Nah, keep the celebrities and
Oh,
fuck
okay.
off. I want just Bear.
Yeah,
You know who eats with their hands?
Bear
Bears.
Bear Grylls.
They're back, baby.
You know who stays in the Hilton whenever he's supposed to be in Alaska?
Not Bear Grylls.
Bear
Not
Grylls.
Bear
No, I
Grylls.
don't talk about Bear Grylls like that.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Don't.
Who's the other guy? Computer guy. Can you look up the other? He had a show. Survive. He like
Lone-
Lone
Oh, let me look
Survivor.
it up here. Here you
Lone
go.
Survivor.
Les Stroud.
That's Mark Wahlberg.
Les Stroud.
For those of you that are at home, he was waving his hands in the air.
Yeah. Les Stroud was good.
Cody Lundeen and what's his name?
I
They were
just-
the best survival.
I just saw
survival.
something about Cody Lundeen and the other guy. I forgot all about those two
They
until
were the best survivor duo ever.
until a video popped up on this article I was reading.
Like, does ever? It kind of blows my mind that guys like Cody Lundeen, Bear Grylls, like if you go 300 years ago in the U.S. or in
They
it wasn't
weren't
the
alive?
US. No, take take those guys, 300 years ago, and they were just like your everyday man.
Oh yeah.
It's wild, like that we have lost that skill set completely is crazy.
Like they would go clubbing then. It's totally different than now. You know what I mean?
You talking about Club and Seals?
Clubbing back then versus clubbing now.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's wild. Like these guys are survivalist experts, and they are the common man from 300 years ago. Like that's just, they have the same skill set as the average day person. It's just wild
is
how
a-
life can change that way.
A crazy Les Stroud video that I saw a long time ago where he's out in the Alaskan bush or something by himself doing his shots, and he's panning back and forth where he has to walk camera to camera. And he's walking back towards the camera, and in the tree line behind him, you can see like these giant pine trees, 150 feet tall,
Yep.
and they're moving like something is looking between them, like pulling them apart. And he comes
Bigfoot?
up to the camera. Yeah, it's like they say it's one of the most evidential videos of a Bigfoot / great ape living in Alaska. because you can hear it howling in his camera, like the actual sounds. Food for thought.
So Bigfoot is real, according to Les Stroud.
He said he'll never go back or camp in Alaska after that.
I'll send you guys down a path here, but it's called the Afghan giant. Have you ever heard of the Afghan giant, Mike?
I just read some articles about that too.
Yeah.
I tend to stay off of those types of chat rooms, so no, haven't heard.
It wasn't a chat room, dude. This actually popped up on
Is Yahoo.com?
Yeah, it was there. No, it was there on my Yahoo Mail app because I have not changed my email address. My original email address is still my Yahoo Mail, and then it just gives you a headline. Huh?
What's your email address?
I don't want to put that on.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's in my first and last name and my birth year.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee kicks 1986.
Not what?
Hey, that rhymed.
Not 36. That's how it flowed. This guy's gonna be the one on the mic in your studio in a little bit. But yeah, Afghan giant. There's multiple sightings and
What's an Afghan giant?
He's about to tell you, I think.
yeah,
Thank
that's
God.
what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. I don't know if it was during Desert Storm or if it was during the Iraq War, but there was like multiple sightings and of soldiers seeing like these base camps out in the mountains and in the caves, and there was always like not always, sorry, but they would come upon like these guys that would stand way taller than the tents that were set up, and then they were looking at like measuring the size of certain caves that they were looking at, and there'd be someone that would take up the entire width of the cave, and it was like I think 20 or 30 soldiers all reported seeing the Afghan giant. And then there was one battle area. I mean, I say battle like it was a while back, but there's like a kill site of just a bunch of guys that were like literally ripped apart, and it looked like a bear attack. And there was no like where they were in the mountains, there was no possibility of any sort of like predator big enough to do that. It
Mountain
was
lion.
wild. I think there's mountain.
I don't know, man. I've been pretty tired
lions up
before.
there.
I've been real tired before and seen some stuff. I remember we were coming back from Daytona, and I thought this car was driving on the roof, and I was like,
Dude, are you kidding me?
That's-
I was
that's
the one
very fair.
driving.
I was with you, wide awake. Well, not wide awake, but I was the only one awake with you.
No, I was awake with Dylan on the way back.
He was in the front seat.
Oh,
And we
You
were,
guys
me
were
and him were
knocked out
driving.
bad.
I was awake in the back. I can't sleep in cars.
All right, so let me paint a picture
Sure.
for you guys. I think it was like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on like a Friday. We go, you know what? We're not doing anything this weekend. We're in high school. Well, maybe we'd graduated by then. Maybe we were 1 year out of high
I think
school.
it's the senior year.
Senior year, potentially. Let's go to Daytona from Tampa. It's about a 2-hour drive.
No, we got there in the morning though.
No, we got there in the middle of the night.
Okay, maybe it was like 9 o'clock at night.
We got there late because
We got there in the middle of the night.
but we were there the next day.
Yeah, because we.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead. Let him tell the story. Let him tell the
It
story.
was 11 o'clock at night. We go, well, let's go to Daytona. So we drive to Daytona, get there at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
We go to a Waffle House,
IHOP.
Burger King.
IHOP.
Was
Started
that
on
right?
IHOP.
Oh yeah, we started.
We stayed on an IHOP for as long as we could. Ate our breakfast, and then the IHOP closed. Then we had to go over to Burger King, which is 24/7. We'd already eaten at IHOP, so we didn't eat at Burger King. We just lounged around the restaurant, and this is like 4 a.m, and then the sun starts coming up. So I'm like, all right, let's go down to the beach. We're gonna go sleep on the beach, and we're gonna watch the sunrise. We had left to go to Daytona at 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. Excuse me, the day before. Didn't have a hotel, so we'd been bumming it in IHOP and Burger King. We watched the sunrise on the Daytona shore, and then we hung out all day. Went to the beach. Went to Krabby Bill's. What's the place?
Something like that.
Joe's Crab Shack.
Joe's Crab Shack. Later on for like lunch or dinner. Stayed there all day, hung out, and then decided to drive home that night after having no sleep the night before. And I'm the one driving. Dingman's the one sitting next to me. Everybody else is passed out in the back seat. I'm seeing colors on the roadway that don't exist.
I see a car upside down driving, and I'm like trying to get my eyes to focus and make it correct. And I'm like, no way. And I'm like, I don't know. At this point, Jesus, take the wheel because hopefully Dylan can make it
I'm
home.
of no assistance here. Yep.
I'm driving and I see Bigfoot peek through the trees over to my right. I see the
Afghan
giant
giant.
ape,
Made it to Daytona.
Afghan giants running down the street.
That's
and
a very
I'm
good point.
losing my mind. I'm like 2 days removed from sleep. I don't know what's going on. But we made it home.
Yeah, I don't know how we made it home.
And it was actually a pretty good trip.
Yeah.
You dropped us off. We had all left our cars at McDonald's, and you dropped us off at
We all left our cars at a...
Oh, that's the worst. Still had to drive home.
At a specific McDonald's that's
Jeez.
famous. And y'all had to drive home.
Yep.
That was always the worst, getting back to the destination, but still having to drive
Having
home.
to get home, yep. Because we'd always meet up beforehand, and you all have your cars there, and then
So
stuff.
I usually drive whenever we do trips.
You had the
And I feel like it came, like, subconsciously, I get car sick. Well, literally I get car sick.
yeah, but
subconsciously, my decision to drive, I
Yeah.
feel like, comes from me getting car sick.
I think it was more about your vehicle because most of us drove.
And my vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to fit 4 of us in a Honda Prelude at the time.
We fit 4 of us in a
Scion
sport
TC.
track.
Yeah, we I mean, it wasn't easy to do it. But
I also drove a big group of us from
There was 5 of us.
Tallahassee to, yeah, there were 5.
Daytona 5.
yeah, Daytona 5 to Tallahassee to what was that canyon called?
Tallahassee, that's in Georgia, but we went from Tallahassee to
No,
Texas, to Dallas.
Yeah,
Oof.
Dallas.
To go to the AT&T Stadium to watch FSU play some other team.
Yeah, they would
it
be playing
was-
another team, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I think it was FSU LSU, maybe. I don't remember.
No, you're just thinking that because we stopped at LSU for a while.
we did stop at LSU. That was funny. We literally stopped at LSU. And we were running around campus trying to find a bathroom because we'd been drinking beers in the back of the sport track for
Oof.
a few hours. And then we were like taking shots at Jaeger in the back seat while Dylan's driving, and it's a different time of life, man.
Sounds like a rough
It
trip.
wasn't. I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you. But like we even went out in Dallas. I don't remember. Did we have a hotel that time?
I don't know.
I don't know if we had a hotel. I don't remember a hotel.
We tailgated in Dallas. I ran
We
into
might
my
have-
brother. I ran into some of my brother's buddies
Oh yeah, yeah.
that were walking around the tailgate.
That's strange. I guess not really for FSU game.
FSU game, so
Yeah.
that's why they were there.
Makes more sense.
And I don't remember sleeping. We must have.
It's just such a interesting period of our lives because, like, I don't know. You don't
Let's do
worry.
that this weekend.
What?
Let's do that this weekend.
I can't. That's the.
Ah,
That's the
thank
problem.
God.
That's the problem. It's like back then, I had the money in my pocket. I don't even know if I had a credit card at the time. I was literally just running off a debit card, and hopefully, I had enough to where my bank account were clear on whatever we were doing.
Similar story. We hadn't moved to Tallahassee yet, me and Bryce. And we're going to meet our buddy, Matthew.
Yep.
He got us tickets to go to an FSU game. All right, we're going to drive up. I think either we drove or Bryce's sister dropped us off or something. But we're up in Tallahassee. We're going to meet our buddy for the first time. He's a freshman. He's staying in the dormitory. We're doing NASCAR in his dorm, shotgunning beers, drinking a sip of beer every minute for an hour.
Power
Power hour. I think it's also called NASCAR. We're vomiting violently in the communal bathrooms, and we're just getting trashed. But we're having a great time. The next day, we're going to go to a football game. We are geared up. It's game day.
That was a Halloween weekend, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah, it was
Yeah,
Halloween weekend. Game day. ESPN's in town. They're doing the whole game day thing. We get to the stadium. We're getting checked in. He checks in his ticket, student ticket, good to go. He checks in our tickets. Beep, 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 beep. These have already been redeemed today.
We visited our friend, and our friend was like, "Don't worry, guys, I got tickets for you." And so
Yeah, he had tickets covered for us.
He gives us the ticket. Go ahead.
Damn.
Our tickets have already been redeemed. And he looks back as he's already through the threshold. Huh?
It's like,
Well, see you later.
here we go. Hey, we can't get in. He's like, all right, I'll see y'all a little bit.
Damn.
Leaves us to go
Classic
to the
Hooper.
game.
Yep.
And here we are. Just 2 guys. Not from Tally. I don't know if we'd ever been there. Maybe Bryce had once before.
I'd been a couple times, but I didn't know the area, and we also weren't 21.
We're at Dope Campbell. We're not 21. And we don't have tickets to the game. And I don't think we had money to buy tickets. And I don't think we had...
We had nothing.
Maybe the tickets are sold out. I don't know what happened, but we didn't go to the game.
Yeah.
We walked around campus, around College Town, before it was College Town, for 3 hours.
I remember we had fun.
We ended up going to some restaurant to try to like watch the game on TV, but they weren't playing it, which was dumb.
Yeah, they would was like they had blackout games in Tallahassee during game days.
And I'm wearing my my jean shorts because I used to wear jeans. And when I outgrew the jeans, when they got too short for my legs, because my legs grew a lot, I would just cut them into shorts. And I'm walking around in my jean shorts, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Apparently, that's a big no-no in college areas.
At that time
in life. So everywhere I'd go, like people were making fun of my jean shorts, which I didn't really mind because I don't care if people make fun of me. I just like the attention. And but everybody, nice shorts.
Right. Well, the problem is we didn't know where we were exactly where we're at. We weren't too familiar with the campus, so we're walking down like sorority row. He's in George. We're both those like goofy 18-year-olds, and we're just getting roasted by the fraternity and sororities for my boy in jorts. And of course, that in my head, I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't know what college is like. this guy doesn't know how to fit in around Seminoles.
We also probably look like super young. Like if you go back and look at pictures of anybody whenever they're like 18, 19, you look way younger than you thought you did.
We look super young.
So
we were lost. We're just like roaming around Tallahassee.
We walked back to the stadium. The game's about to end. We finally find a gift shop in the stadium that has the game on TV.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So we're watching like the end of the fourth quarter on a TV in the gift shop.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we won or lost, but
we won that game.
Sounds awful.
Time of your life.
Sounds like a good time.
No, it genuinely was a great time because, like, again, we had nothing. It wasn't like in our, right now, if I was doing that, I'd be like, man, I have so many other things I need to be doing. I have so much better ways to use my time. But then we were literally exploring a city we had never been or didn't know very well. We're around like a community of college kids. We're checking out bars. We're like, it's a great. I'd never regret a time of just like roaming the streets of a new place. That is always, unless it's like not safe. But no, but that was awesome. Like that I love that.
Maybe we do that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can still do that now.
We're gonna go to.
Well, we could, yeah, but I mean, we have to go to a new city and everything, and it's just the problem is it's harder now because again, like I leave for a weekend, I'm gonna miss out on something, or I have to worry about spending money, and there's just so many obligations, responsibilities.
What's the unsafest place you ever been?
Unsafest? Timisoara, Romania.
Oh yeah, that does sound pretty unsafe.
It was a little sketchy.
Why'd you go and what made it feel sketchy?
This was a trip with an ex, and it's not like a tourist vacation. Like the only reason we did there because she had grown up there for a part of her life, and so the main reason, like it was a safe city, but they didn't necessarily like the fact that like I was clearly not. I wouldn't even say clearly because I don't know. I didn't belong. I couldn't speak the language, and it's not. Like imagine, again, that doesn't even compare.
Imagine Dragons.
Just not being in a tourist city, being in a random city in a kind of a rougher area, and not be like the main thing is not being able to communicate, not be able to speak the language. Anything could happen. It's a little just made me feel very out of place, uncomfortable.
I went on a cruise, and one of the stops was in Cozumel. Not that that's an unsafe place.
Right.
I didn't feel like it was unsafe at all. It's a tourist place, whatever. It's like a big strip mall, big outdoor strip mall, kind of like St. Augustine in a way. Everyone's trying to sell you something. But we're walking down the street. We're passing by cigar shops here, cigar shops there, different places. We're going in and checking it out, whatever. We're trying to get across the street to go to like the coastal side to go look at this big flagpole and the statue and stuff. There's a guy standing on the corner. He's like trying to like help us cross the street because the streets, cars are going back and forth pretty quick. And he's like talking to us or whatever. Not saying anything important. We finally get across the street. And then, like the military, or not a military vehicle, maybe a police vehicle. I don't know. It's like a Ford Ranger style truck, but there's like a guy in the back with like a gun, like a gunner on top.
Technical is what it's called.
A technical is what they call those.
It's a truck that's been converted to a weaponized vehicle.
So the technical truck pulls up with some military guys in the back. They hop out of the truck. They talking to the guy that was talking to us. They're like pushing him around. They're investigating him. They're talking to him. They, put his hands behind his back. They throw him in the back of the truck and they drive off. And I'm thinking, what what the fuck are they arresting that guy for? Like, is he not allowed to talk to tourists? Or
I think it's the law here.
Or is he also like doing some other shady stuff? Were we a part of this shady deal? Did I miss something? Did he pickpocket me? What's going on here? And I don't know what happened. Obviously, I'm not going to go up to anybody and ask him what happened because, who knows? But that was a funny incident that happened. On the only time I've ever been out of the country, which is not that out of the country, Cozumel, Mexico.
I think about on Mike's bachelor party, I was roaming New Orleans, get a little out of sorts on my own. I had a very bad time to be roaming New Orleans, and I mean, of course, at that point, I don't think I had full recognition of what was going on around me. But at the same time, like looking back on that, I didn't feel like I was really in danger at any point. Never felt like I was in a bad situation. But I go into some. I think it's really comes down to the language barrier and just not understanding the rules, laws, the people around you, and not being able to like negotiate your way out of a situation. That just adds a whole nother layer of things.
No, for sure.
Like I went to a club in Romania, and you deal with like normal stuff. When you take your girl to the club here and stuff, you're gonna deal with guys like hitting on them, or might be pushing it where they might be handsy and stuff. Trying to address that in a country where no one else speaks the same language as you is the only way to address it is with physical, like confrontation, and
didn't need any of that.
Yeah, didn't need any of that for one. Two, like I can promise you, no one's gonna have my side.
Yeah,
in those conversations, no one's gonna have the traveling American. So that was a very like uncomfortable situation to be in. But I mean, everything worked out. Again, you realize
you're still here,
right? Well, it's the main thing. It's not just because I can't speak the same language. They're great people. Everyone is looking out for me, and you even though I felt uncomfortable, there was no one around me that was aggressive or doing anything, so I have no complaints.
Yeah.
But it's just more my internally, I was definitely not feeling at peace.
What about you, Dingman?
I've never been out of the country and never really felt, I guess, unsafe. Maybe like late nights around here in Tampa.
Ybor?
Nah, not really an Ybor. Really, like when I used to go drop this kid off from high school after like football games in Hillsborough on 40th at 12 in the morning. Didn't feel the most safe, but I was in the vehicle, so I felt okay.
Yeah. You remind me of the story when we were at a house party in high school, and my friend that's no longer with us anymore, but he randomly, a couple guys decided they need to go home, and I didn't know those guys, and I barely knew the guy that was going to drive them. But he turns to me and he's like, "Hey man, I got to take these guys home. Do you mind riding with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, man, we'll go." And so he asked another friend to borrow his car to drive these guys home. So I don't know how I got swindled into it. I'm thinking it's like right down the road, and I'm thinking he just doesn't want to have to drive back alone. I'm like, okay, that's fine, no worries. Hop in the car with him. We're driving down. The first stoplight we get to one stoplight. First stoplight, he looks over at the guy next to us, and he's like, "Hey man, I'll race you for pinks." Just says that to the guy but keep in mind he's driving. He's in a manual Mustang and all that, so he had a chance. But so he just takes off, loses by 100 yards. He gets smoked by this car, and of course he just keeps on driving. He pulled the Jesse from Fast and Furious. Just keeps on driving. I'm already on edge. I'm like, all right, we just got a street race in the first mile of leaving this house. We got another 30-minute drive ahead of us. We keep driving. He stops at the people's house that we're going to is right next to the Seminole Hard Rock. We go into the Hard Rock. I am 16 years old. He's 17. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in here grab a drink real quick." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? What is going on?" Walks in, has a fake ID, buys a drink from the bar, brings it out to the car, gets back in the car, starts driving to gets in with us, starts driving the place. Keep in mind, he's got a glass from the bar at the Hard Rock. I'm like, I 3 or 4 times now, I've thought, okay, it's probably best I get out of the car.
Yeah.
But this is before Uber. I'm not going to call any. All my friends are currently at the party. They're not in a state to drive, so I'm not going to call my parents. Should have called my parents at that point. But he goes and drops off the kids, and we start driving back. And he's literally just starts drifting around intersections on the way home. Made it back fine. Everything's good. And I literally just walk into the party. Everybody's already like asleep or passed out, and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, why would I ever do this?
Yeah, why was I the nice guy?
Why did I put myself in the situation? And believe me, I've done that same exact thing 4 or 5 times since then.
That's not good.
Unbelievable. Mike, do you remember that night?
Yep.
What just happened here?
Do you know that the Hard Rock and any Seminole casinos, they can't arrest you on their grounds?
Right. It's not technically American soil.
You'll find out if you're almost getting arrested. They literally tell you, we can't arrest you, but we will arrest you as soon as you step foot off of the grounds.
So you stay there for the rest of your life?
Is that how that works?
Well, if you've been drinking, you just stay there till you're sober.
Huh. So if I'm drinking and driving, they go to pull into the casino.
Depends on probably the cop, but yeah.
Fuck.
As soon as you leave and pull out, they can arrest you for a DUI.
Damn.
You sure?
But if you're in your car on the premise and have a cool cop, you might be in luck.
Interesting.
See what's going on in
I'll have to
here.
call my cop buddy about that.
Is that anchovies?
Tried real hard to get some anchovies. That's jalapenos.
Yeah, there's more people. There's more people living paycheck to paycheck at a casino than there is people that have the money to blow.
Yeah, I agree.
When I worked at Derby, the overnight shift, I would, like, multiple times during my shift, I would see a ton of people betting my paycheck, more than my paycheck, every single hand.
That doesn't mean they're well off. That means they're just not risk averse. What's the other one? Risk.
Oh no, dude! I remember we used to see people, drug dealers, come in 3:30, 4 a.m. after the whole night. They'd bet $5 or $6 grand and lose it all, and like just be sitting there thinking like, "Holy fuck!" They're like, "I'm in big shit now."
Yeah, because that's everything.
Uh huh.
Now they're nothing. Now they have to go back to the grind.
Why do they feel like? Why is that so correlated? Why is that a part of like drug dealing culture?
You have all this money, so it's with anything that you
cash?
have a lot of money. You just have a lot of cash. One, because you can wash it in the sense of like, oh, I won this at the whatever. But a lot of it is like, I have this money, which means I can go just gamble it and have fun and do what I want to do, and try to make more money, as opposed to like doing stocks and stuff like that. Because this is more like instant and more fun. And
But why aren't there more like financially savvy?
because it's
Gamblers.
no, because where you come from, you grow up gambling. Like you grow up shooting craps, like doing the
It's
shit,
all
like
part of the hustle.
playing card games, playing whatever for money, because that's what you grow up learning and doing. So
Yeah.
therefore, when you get the money, now you can just play bigger stakes and
That's true.
make the same
Kinda
mistakes if you want.
built into your lifestyle. Makes sense.
For sure. Used to see people win like 20, 30 grand. Those types of people who
Yeah.
would come in, and then once you do it once you hit rich, one time, you're fucking hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, now you'll blow everything because you one night you've smoked it before, and now you're just smoking your money.
That's what this guy was saying. Is he went to Derby Lane? The last time he went to Derby Lane was because he got a flat tire. Oh, he Ubers for a living. He Ubers and then he lives off disability. But got a flat tire in his car. Left it there. He walked to Derby Lane. He had like $100 in his pocket, and he was like, "Okay, either I can make enough to buy myself a full set of tires, or I can't Uber for like a week." So he gambled it, lost the 100 within like 20 minutes, and he said, "Okay, I guess I'm not going to Uber for the week." And I was like, "How do you do that? How do you do that?"
New type of life.
It's just wild.
I agree.
Wild.
It is wild.
You see some wild stuff there, for sure. We had a lady shit herself at the table because Derby doesn't close Friday night till Monday morning. So she was on a lucky streak, didn't want to lose her seat, and it was packed. She just shit herself. No diaper, no nothing.
How much you guys pay for that bonus?
Yeah, right. Everyone chipped in $5. I wanted to ask this, but everyone had some great points. How did y'all feel about? How do y'all feel about no more midnight releases for video games? Like, are you happy?
It
that they're
doesn't
gone?
bother me. I don't care anymore.
It was just a fun thing to do, but what was the point?
Yeah, because you still had to go home, download the game into the fucking shit.
By the
I
time,
think it's because
Originally
there
you
was
didn't,
no
but
electronic.
by the time you get the game downloaded, after picking up the physical copy, it's 2 a.m. after you get home. So you play for 30 minutes, then you go to sleep.
that was the worst. That was when you started having to download the game to play the game when you already had the physical copy. It was so fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking prime time, like physical copy only.
I mean, physical copy only. That was a good time. I remember one COD release. I stayed over at Dylan's house. We got the game at Walmart. Came back, hopped on, and we just fucking grinded it out while his brother and his friends were playing it. And I remember just playing it a lot and had a good time. But after that, it just sucked. But before that, it was a great time. I think midnight release was a good time. It sucked that waiting to get the game, but it was also part of the nuance of waiting and hanging out and getting the game and being able to play it as soon as you get home. But since that's kind of died, I don't know. It's kind of whack.
The stories Dingman brings up makes me think we're like the bestest of friends.
Oh yeah, we're not friends at all. I don't even know who you are.
No,
I wish we were better friends. I wish you liked me more.
I love you. That's the problem.
Well, I think that's it's interesting because we had a lot of like very concurrent. We had a bunch of friends that were like always stable throughout the past 14 years, which was our the big four, and then Dingman was always a great friend, but in small doses because we just never made enough effort on our end to.
Nah, it's not on you
establish that
guys.
Well,
connection.
Dingman had his own friend,
I had
his own life away from us too.
Well, I had friends. I think the difference was like you guys were all friends, and you guys were a group. I was a part of the group, but I was also part of another group and another group and another group.
That's fair.
Like I would hang out with the baseball guys. I would hang out with the football guys. I would hang out with the random guys. I would hang out with the guys that are like a year older than me that I grew up with. So like I had a bunch of different friend groups because I was friends with pretty much everybody.
Sure.
But you guys were a specific group, and it was kind of like you guys were in that group.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite group?
In high school,
Probably the year older guys.
nah, it was you guys. I used to hang out with you guys the most.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. We
I
did
hung out
it.
with you guys the most.
So that makes it all worth it.
We did it.
That makes it all
Who's
worth
your favorite friend out of all the friend groups?
My whole friend.
Get your voice right, bro. Not the prepubescent child over here.
When we were in high school, I think my favorite friend, I think it was Dylan.
Oh,
That's fair.
It was
That's
either
fair.
Dylan or Ryan,
Yeah.
but I think it was Ryan because I think it was Ryan during the times because Dylan would have practice and stuff. So like he would go to track practice and stuff. So I would hang out with Ryan.
Yeah. I
this
think,
dude's gaslighting me hard
But-
right now.
no, I
I used
genuinely
to-
think a lot of our. Yeah, go ahead.
I used to like hanging out with Dylan because then like we would see Pop, and then we would just hang out and bullshit and like you could
so
always.
his favorite friend is Pop.
But it was always. I don't know. I feel like Dylan always had really nothing to do but something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we were always kind of doing something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Dylan was a very much a kind of a people pleaser, where he kind of wanted you to have fun, so he would kind of do things to make you have fun. Like you said, he used to fucking have music for certain people if he was with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I felt like Dylan lied to me and made it feel like I was special.
But see that.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody
you
was
were
special.
special.
Right.
You were special. I would try to portray the best of my different personalities. Not that I have different
Not
personalities.
different. But that's like.
But the best of my section of life.
This goes back to the Pokemon contest. You got a big circle, you got cool, you got sad, you got angry, you got fast, you got all these things, and you're gonna tap in to that section of your circle at
Ooh.
that point.
And I had the Freedom Kids. And then Dylan used to be like, why are you going to hang out with the Freedom Kids and not us?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It
fuck
was
them
Monday.
Freedom
Because I would go to Moe's with them every
Yeah.
Monday.
No,
And then eventually it went to hang out with you guys on Monday for Moe's.
Yep.
Because you guys weren't really in Moe's at the time.
No,
at
I
the
think
beginning.
we joined late. We joined late
Yeah.
in the Moe's Mondays.
So
crowd.
then we became the Moe's Monday crowd. And then I was
That's
like,
fair.
that's cool.
I mean, a lot of your friendships are based around accessibility. I feel like, if you, I mean, especially when you're in a group of friends, And you might have a certain attachment to one friend, but then you might do a sport or something that one friend's not a part of, and you bring on another friend there, and you get closer with that guy.
I think one of the biggest thing is I was always wanting to hang out with my cousin, and my cousin's friends were the Freedom Kids. So I would hang out like on the weekends and stuff. Whenever I was free, I would go hang out with him because he would like before I had the car and stuff, he would pick me up. Even when I had the car, I think he would like technically it wasn't my car, so. On the weekends and stuff, I may not be able to drive it. So I would get picked up by him and go hang out with them for the weekend. Whereas you guys were like during the week just to go bullshit and hang out and do whatever. But ultimately, I mean, I had a great time both time every way, except there was just I think my cousin was the main part where I liked hanging out with him the most. But I loved hanging out with you guys, especially when we would do like just random shit. Even when like Hooper would be like, "Oh, we're doing this tonight. We're going to the Lightning game or something." Like he would drive all the way to Lutz from Brandon to come pick me up, and then we would go to the game or we would go do something stupid. And like those are the little things that is like I had a good time. Like Hooper, I think Hooper was I mean freshman year for sure. Hooper was my best friend. And I think like towards I feel like sophomore year still too, but I think towards like junior senior year he became closer to Dylan.
Yeah. And
I became more of like I didn't really care. I didn't really like think of things as a best friend. Like even now like Fat Man's like I think I'm Fat Man's best friend, but like I don't see anybody really as my best friend. I just see people as my friends. And like
I was gonna say, I never thought of it as like a best friend type deal.
Yeah, I just like
hang out, dude.
Who's gonna pick up the phone when I call him?
Yeah,
that's no exactly accessibility.
Like my friend Malik, like I think me and him are very like similar in stuff that we like, but he also likes shit that I don't like at all. But he doesn't really bring that into it when I hang out. Like when we hang out, we bullshit. So
compartmentalize your life.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
So
I wouldn't bring any of the bullshit into our hangouts that you wouldn't jive with.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the end of this episode. We got me, Dean. We got Brucey Bruce. We got Dillo, and we got young Oggero.
To the skizzo.
And that'd be it.
Izzo.
Thanks for joining us.
To the bizzo. Ding, ding, dizzo.
Riveting stuff. This podcast.
Oh, it's good stuff.
This is all going in. Might as well.
We're just hanging with the fellas.
Everybody can see me.
I would say we have a C-level podcast, A-level hang.
There's no socks.